Bluefield and Polka back-to-back, double time. But this year, the new kids are in town. Enter the Wayne Pioneers.
Well, I think up and down the little country roads that we have and the stores that we have, it mean a whole lot. Our kids have worked very hard, and something like this don't happen all the time, so you're ready to get the whole town excited.
Coach Tommy Harmon leads a fierce sea of red and black to Wheeling and his own personalized offensive playbook.
Some people would refer to it as not the wing tee, but the Wayne tee. We're not stuck in a textbook or anything like that. I think our ability to provide different looks and different sets, I think that's been very effective for us this year, and hopefully it will be this game.
But he faces a band of Beavers with revenge on their minds. Bluefield lost the last 2 championship games to Polka last year by an agonizing single point.
21-20 is your final score.
They're determined this year to play like the champions they claim they want to be.
Bluefield, they played the toughest schedule in AA. They have speed, so much of it. In fact, I'm not sure they know what to do with it all the time. But that's the one thing that you can't coach, and that's one thing they do a nice job of. And we're going to have to play a good football game.
Can the Pioneers upset the Beavers, or will Bluefield finally stop being the bridesmaid? Join us for the 2004 AA Championship Games here in the Zone. We welcome you inside Wheeling Island Stadium in Wheeling, West Virginia for the West Virginia Class AA Championship game. It's a battle of unbeatens, the meeting of the only 2 undefeated teams in this Super 6 weekend. The Wayne Pioneers set to take on the Bluefield Beavers. And a very pleasant good evening, everybody. Dave Weekley, happy to be alongside Sean McDowell of WOWK. Sean, we've got 2 teams that are undefeated, that run the ball very, very well. It's a recipe for a terrific championship game.
Yeah, one thing's for certain tonight. You will see a good game, and you will see running games at play tonight. Both teams operate their offenses out of variations of the wing tee. You're going to see yards on the ground tonight, that's for certain.
This has been a big day for the Pioneers of Wayne. It started early this morning when they got on the bus and made the trip to Wheeling Island Stadium. They are a very focused football team for Tommy Harmon. They've been lights out in the playoffs. They got a big send-off by the students at the school this morning, and many of the faithful are in Wheeling Island Stadium tonight for this game.
I think most of the town of Wayne is here this evening, and why wouldn't they be? Of course, the Pioneers started their playoff run with a big win against Scott, then knocking off Braxton County. Shady Spring, their latest victim, with that 33-6 win last week at Pioneer Field.
And the Bluefield Beavers are back in the Class AA championship game. And after last week in the semifinal round, an overtime thriller against Weir in which they trailed by 2 touchdowns with less than 3 minutes to go, the Beavers, who left for Wheeling yesterday, feel, Sean, they're a team of destiny.
Bluefield specializing in the tight win, the dramatic victory. They've had a couple of them late in the season here. Mount View, of course, that one wasn't tight at all. Neither was the win over Kaiser, though. Of course, Weir was their latest victim. That came last week at Mitchell Stadium.
All right, and for more on the Beavers of Bluefield, let's meet the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Drew Powell. Drew?
Thank you very much, guys. And how about the weather here in December? Let's hope it stays like this, unlike in years past where we've had to deal with snow and ice and freezing temperatures and all that wind. We've got great weather, and that plays into the element of favor for the Bluefield Beavers. The reason why I say that is because Bluefield is a team that is very explosive on offense, defense, and special teams, and with this playing surface here, great playing conditions for the Bluefield Beavers. It's just like at Mitchell Stadium back in Bluefield, where it's a little bit warmer. Nevertheless, the Bluefield Beavers have a quarterback, a senior, Rusty Coburn. This is his 3rd year in a row that he has started and played for Bluefield in this type of championship caliber game. Bluefield Beavers are a team of destiny. They feel it's their year.
All right, Drew, thanks a lot. We look forward to your reports from the field tonight. 2 undefeated teams, but only one can take home a championship. We'll get the West Virginia Class AA title game up and running when we return to Wheeling Island Stadium in a moment. Welcome back inside Wheeling Island Stadium, the West Virginia Class AA Championship about to begin Bluefield won the toss. They have deferred. Wayne will have the ball first. The Beavers will get the ball first in the third quarter of play. Fred Simon, oh so close last year for the Beavers. They lost to the Polka Dots as the Dots won another consecutive championship. This year the Dots didn't qualify for the playoffs. So we've been guaranteed for weeks, Sean McDowell, that we'd have a new champion this year in West Virginia Class AA.
I'm sure Fred Simon is tickled to death to see that Bob Lemley and the Polka Dots are nowhere near Ohio County right now. The Bluefield Club has lost two AA championship games in a row dating back to 2002. You know there's got to be something to prove on the BHS sideline.
Tommy Harmon took the job at Wayne just prior to the 1997 season. They immediately went 0-10. But since that time, they have been on a roll. And they're trying to push it over the top and win the first state championship in school history.
On a roll, Dave, and let's talk about wins. 53 of them in just 5 seasons for Tommy Harmon's ball club, operating that wing T offense to perfection at times.
Well, Bluefield's Lucas Stone, a 2-time All-Stater in West Virginia Class AA, will kick off. And get a load of this kickoff formation by the Bluefield Beavers. They'll shift out of it, and here is Stone with a kick from the 10. And up to the 24-yard line. The return by Tyler Michael. Wayne, they've got the ability to make big plays. You don't want to get to the ball in the hands of Michael very often. And here's Nick Sewell, the 6'3", 195-pound junior left-handed quarterback. Thrown for over 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions. He led the Pioneers in rushing for the first time in his career with 75 yards on 5 carries in a semifinal win over Shady Spring last week.
Dave, I can tell you, he's Nicholas probably to his mom. He's Nick to his teachers. He's Nico to everybody who knows and loves him around Wayne County.
And as you might expect, right away they go on the ground, and that's Josh Powers. And the senior is deep into Bluefield territory, knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That's a 51-yard gain, and what a way to start a championship game for Wayne.
You were just talking about big plays, Dave. You are clairvoyant. Josh Powers had 2 touchdowns in the win over Shady last week. He has 11 on the season, and not to mention a 3.5 grade average. He gets a nice block around the edge there, and he has gone a long way. Almost gets himself into the end zone before they knock him out of bounds at the 25.
This Wayne ground game is a nightmare for opposing coaches and a nightmare for announcers as well. They had 8 different running backs carry the ball last week. Handoff inside, and not much happening that time as they slipped the ball to the fullback. Let's check the offensive lineup, and we will begin with the Wayne Pioneers. Rowland leads them in rushing this year. Sanders, Wallace, Markham is a terrific tight end, and Park Ferguson is the wide receiver. Up front, the men that'll do the blocking, the Brooks brothers, Jeremy and Justin on the left side, John Dunkel's the center, Kyle Sward and Brock Anderson on the right side of the offensive line for the Pioneers. 2nd down and 9. Game just underway from Wheeling Island Stadium. Perfect conditions as opposed to the snow and the mud we played in last year. Pass is tipped and incomplete. Tried to get it over the middle to Jake Gilliam, the senior. And here's the Bluefield defense. This is a unit that's giving up just 12 points a game. Bales, Carter, Steptoe, and Morris up front. They will go with 4 linebackers. And David Perdue is the monster back in the Beavers defensive alignment. And Tracy Coppola, number 45, also someone to keep your eye on. Davis, Coburn, and Steptoe. They have athletes and they have veterans in the secondary. It's a fake. Sewell dropped back at the 29-yard line on the sack. Ryan Albert, the junior, comes up with a big defensive play for Bluefield.
Well, and here's what happens. Newell's coming up the gut there, and he just didn't get a block, calling his own number. And Newell is somebody who can do that. He can run with the football pretty well. He had 55 yards, and he was Wayne's leading rusher against Shady.
Andy Bales actually was the first defender to get to Sewell. So Tommy Harmon and company now facing 4th down and 14, and they're going to go for it. And here comes the defense again. And the ball is loose. And that is going to be ruled a fumble. And coming back the other way for a touchdown is Bales. 63 yards on 4th and 14. Sewell was stripped. Bales picked it up and took it all the way for a touchdown.
Nico Newell and Wayne's offense just not really executing the way Tommy Harmon would like to see them execute in this early part of the football game. That first play they broke on that drive, Dave, was pretty impressive, but not this time around. You see Newell just losing the football here. And there's Bluefield picking it up and running home with it. Number 40 there. His name's Daniel Runyon. All the way home, 67 yards, I think we said. 68 yards for the touchdown, excuse me. So Bluefield will hit first in this game.
Extra point by Stone. Up. And he missed it. So the two-time first-team All-Stater misses the extra point. But nevertheless, Bluefield strikes first. A big play on defense. And they lead the Wayne Pioneers 6-0. First time since the first game of the season, Wayne has been behind. We're back to Wheeling Island Stadium in just a moment. Bluefield with an early 6-0 lead on Wayne in the West Virginia Class AA Championship game. A big play on defense. Sean, let's take another look. Was this really a fumble?
It looks like it was probably a strip, Dave. You see the Bluefield player just poke his hand in there. Newell's going down. He almost had a knee there. That's a questionable call, but I think the referees got this one right. That was a fumble.
It was Daniel Wells who got the strip. And then Bales took it back the other way. And so now Wayne will start 1st and 10. This is their second possession, and it will begin from their 21-yard line. So we've had plenty of fireworks in the early going in this game. A long run by Josh Powers on Wayne's first possession. But on 4th and 14, Nick Sewell is stripped of the football, and Andy Bales takes it 63 yards for a Bluefield touchdown.
Well, yeah, Newell had some trouble there on offense, but we're seeing what Bluefield is all about right now, Dave. Of course, they got a lot of attention back on October 1st by knocking off a AAA club, Martinsburg. 31-28 the final score in that one. In case you hadn't noticed, Martinsburg will play for a state championship in AAA tomorrow.
And this is Powers. And he goes off the right side, and he spins on down to the 30-yard line. Let's go down to the field and talk to Drew Powell. Drew, my question is, why isn't either one of these two teams wearing white tonight?
Yeah, neither team is wearing white. The Wayne Pioneers are in red and black. Their only other color for uniform is black and black. And the Bluefield Beavers are wearing what's called Shamara Blue. That's the name of the color, Shamara Blue. And they call it that because it's named after the late John Shamara, who's a former coach for Bluefield High School, who passed away in October of 2003.
Drew, thank you, and that's appropriate because they play at Shamara Field at Mitchell Stadium. And that's a first down for Wayne as they reach the 35-yard line.
I knew the Detroit Lions called their blue Honolulu blue, but I've never heard of Shamara blue till tonight.
Gary Rowland on his first carry. So the Beavers have the lead, and look at what they've done to their opponents in the first half. Amazing. Outscoring their opponents in the first half 299-30.
It's hard to beat somebody when you're having to play from behind all the time, and when you're outscoring your opponents by 260 points, Dave, that is incredible first half football.
Not much happening that time. Running the football for Wayne as again they try the right side. Jason Sanders, his first carry, the senior fullback, 5'7", 220 pounds. He packs a wallop.
Well, I'll tell you, he's 220 pounds, but I've talked to that young man, and he looks bigger than that in person. He's not tall, but that kid is stout.
Well, you know, what's the Wayne mindset now that they've given up the early touchdown and they find themselves behind in the championship game?
I think if you're Tommy Harmon right now, you just really need to keep the car in drive. Don't panic right now. You're only down 6-0, and there's a lot of football left to be played.
No question. Handoff inside, Jake Gilliam on the carry. And he has nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd down and long. And there's a flag on the play.
David Perdue, Alan Carter in on the stop.
It's a holding penalty pending against Wayne. Our referee tonight is Charles Clements from the Ohio West Virginia Board of Parkersburg.
had an opportunity to talk with Fred Simon a little earlier. Let's let the referee get his suggestion in here, and we'll continue.
All right, see if his mic's working.
Yeah.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat second down.
And that'll move him back a little bit. No, but Dave, I had an opportunity to talk with Coach Simon before the game in their locker room, and I talked to him about losing those back-to-back championship games. I said, do you fear being associated with the likes of the Minnesota Vikings or the Buffalo Bills? And he said, no, too much has been made of that. As soon as this kickoff goes in the air, that stuff is history.
2nd and 20, a definite passing situation, but here comes Wayne, and they're going to keep it on the ground. Back to the 35-yard line. On the carry goes Gary Holland, the 5'11", 165-pound junior. Leading rusher this year for Wayne, 708 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Surprises me a little, Dave, that you mentioned that was a passing situation. Wayne's first play from scrimmage against Shady Spring, Tommy Harmon had Nico Newell try a long post pattern down the sideline, and I asked one of the assistant coaches as soon as the ball fell incomplete, I said, what was that all about? He said, we just wanted to show him that we could.
Well, a little bit more manageable, but still long. 3rd and 11 from the 35. More pressure from Bluefield, and the quarterback is down again. That'll go as a sack back at the 34-yard line. How about the terrific pressure right now being showed by Bluefield? That's Alan Walker.
Well, and that's the defense we've been talking about, Dave. When they outscore their opponents by a total of 260-some points in the first half, that's a lot to keep up with.
Check that. That was Alan Carter on the sack.
Alan Carter. And Newell just never had a chance there. He roamed around in the pocket for a few minutes, seemed to be looking for a pass, but just couldn't get any open space.
3 sacks already for Bluefield.
Bad snap.
Bad snap. And they're, oh my goodness, and he's down at the 1-yard line.
Oh, no.
He was trying to get through the end zone for the safety. Instead, he's tackled at the 1-yard line, and so the Beavers will have it 1st and goal at the Wayne 1.
Well, this snap is way over number 40's head there. Just a terrible situation there. Daniel Runyon trying to handle the football there. He just grabs the thing and just tries to run for daylight, but it's kind of a nightmare first half so far for Wayne, Dave.
It really has been, you know, and this Wayne team really has not punted the ball very much at all. That was just the 27th punt attempt of the year, but still, that's a huge play in a championship game.
I believe it took Wayne until the 3rd quarter against Shady to get a punt in the air, Dave.
So a golden opportunity for Bluefield to add to their 6-0 lead. Coburn leads them out, and the carry to the end zone for a touchdown. David Perdue slashing off the left side made it look easy, and the Beavers build on their lead.
Well, that's one of those plays, Dave, when your offensive line steps up, and the Hogs in the front 5 there for Bluefield and Coach Fred Simon, they really make the difference in a situation like this when you're 1st and goal.
A 1-yard touchdown run by David Perdue. 6 minutes left in the opening quarter. And Fred Simon, flags are down. Despite the fact the score is 6-0 and Lucas Stone missed his first extra point this early in the game, you're just trying to get as many points as you can. Not going to go for the 2-point conversion here. Stone is on to add the more conventional 1-point extra point attempt. Here's the call.
Good ball. Substitution infraction on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat the try.
All right, so now do you want to maybe rethink your strategy about going for 2?
I think you maybe you go ahead and try to punch in 2, Dave.
Apparently not.
Nothing has gone right for the Wayne Pioneers so far. This is a nightmare for Tommy Harmon.
Snap is good, kick is up, and that kick is good by Lucas Stone. So a couple of huge plays early in this game have the Bluefield Beavers in front of the Wayne Pioneers 13-0 in Wheeling. Nice crowd on hand tonight at Wheeling Island Stadium for this battle of 2 unbeatens for the West Virginia class AA championship. Bluefield out to an early 13-0 lead on the Wayne Pioneers. A big play on defense. Andy Bales, a 63-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and then a botched punt snap attempt. Runyon got on the ball back at the 1-yard line, his own one, when he was trying to run through the end zone for a safety. David Perdue, a 1-yard touchdown run for the Beavers. It's 13-0. Short kick by Stone that time, and Wayne has good field position. They'll start this drive at their own 42.
Michael Piles, the Wayne long snapper, probably living a nightmare with that last series, Dave. I don't think he ever dreamed he'd have a bad snap like that with the championship on the line.
Let's talk a little bit about the Wayne offense right now. They run the wing tee, where they run variations of the wing tee.
Sure.
They call it the Wayne tee. Actually, they run 4 variations of the wing tee, but they only run a finite amount of plays. They just execute them beautifully.
It's a simplified playbook, and I think they call it the Wayne tee, Dave, because the majority of teams running a wing tee don't pass out of it. Wayne will pass out of their offense a little more than most ground-based offenses will.
Second carry of the night for Jason Sanders. Sanders rushed for just under 650 yards heading into this game and had a huge game against Braxton, 106 yards on the ground. Wayne with the big edge, as you might expect, in total yards, but Bluefield's got the big edge thus far when it comes to big plays.
Slightly deceptive stat there, wouldn't you say?
Wayne making some very uncharacteristic mistakes here in the opening quarter. We'll see if they get settled down. Second down and 8. And there's just nowhere to go that time. Handoff inside to Gary Rowland, and Bluefield was waiting and took care of him on the crossbuck action. Ryan Albert made the stop.
Yeah, that's right. They really jumped in the middle. Bluefield really jumps in there, finds their way through Wayne's line pretty easily. Nico Newell never had a chance, for that matter. Neither did Gary Rowland, the guy with the ball. Tough situation for Wayne here.
This Wayne offense really did a number last week on Shady Spring, and Shady Spring had been playing very, very well defensively. Wayne had 380 yards of total offense in that game. They held Shady Spring to 84 total yards, including only 17
double reverse
in the second half, and there's nowhere to go. The double reverse dropped all the way back at the 30-yard line, and Jake Gilliam never had a chance.
Yeah, the box could not have been any more crowded. I hear our director commenting on that. It was really just a crowded backfield here. We'll show it to you again. The handoff goes to Josh Powers, who hands it back off. That's Rowland who picks it back up, or Gilliam, excuse me. Tough situation there. Wow, Perdue really got through the line quickly, and when he's got 7 people keeping him company, man, oh man, how can you not come up with a set?
Yeah, boy,
Bluefield's
Perdue,
D is playing big.
They're running downhill right now.
Yeah.
3:45 to go. Another attempted punt. Makes you want to hold your breath if you're a Pioneer fan, and this one is going to roll out of bounds near the 35-yard line. So now the Wayne defense is going to get on the field and going to try to hold the door right now. Fred Simon and the Bluefield Beavers looking good late in the first, leading Wayne 13-0. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium. The Bluefield Beavers with the football as they start this drive from their own 35-yard line. Really our first real opportunity to see their offense, and that was Quentin Steptoe, the 6', 180-pound senior on the carry. Takes it up to the 44-yard line. That's a gain of 8. It'll be second down and 2.
We haven't really needed to see Bluefield's offense up till now. Wayne's offense has made so many mistakes. How could Bluefield help to lead this football game?
You know, one of the stories, Sean, that's kind of been lost in the amazing comeback of Bluefield in the semifinals last week against Weir is the fact they really never got their offense going in that game. Here's Steptoe, and he is dropped back at the 39-yard line. And that was some terrific pursuit by the Wayne Pioneer defense. For more on how they call the plays in the Bluefield Beaver offense, let's send it back down to Drew Powell.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, Fred Simon is the head coach of the Bluefield Beavers, but he has some help within his very own family. The offensive coordinator is one of 2 sons, Freddie Simon III, otherwise known as Fritz, and his other nickname is OG, Offensive Genius. How about that?
I like that. It's like Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
It's a G thing, baby.
All right, incomplete, and it's 4th down. So Wayne, that may be the first positive thing that's happened for the Pioneers tonight.
I've got to be worried a little bit if I'm Tommy Harmon, but the important thing is you've got to gather your kids around and say, it's time to settle down. You're at Wheeling, but act like this is any other stadium in the world and you're not playing for a state championship. Just keep it business as usual. One of the newspapers this week, Dave, quoted Harmon as saying, this is a business trip. Our kids are going to be very businesslike.
Stone handles the punting chores as well for Bluefield. Sends this one down the field. Tyler Michael makes the fair catch at the 23-yard line. That's a 39-yard punt, no return. You know, think about last year, all the blowing snow and the bad weather. Tonight,
I've tried to forget it, actually. I've tried to forget last year.
Right.
If nothing else,
therapy.
If nothing else, the weather is beautiful tonight. Bluefield is playing very well, so we have most of a perfect matchup this evening thus far, and things are going to come around. I'm sure it's going to be a competitive second quarter.
And we'll be talking a little bit more about this new surface, the new artificial turf here at Wheeling Island Stadium that definitely makes things a little bit nicer for both teams. And that carry for Wayne. Again, they go to Powers. And so now as we get to the latter stages of the first quarter, Wayne would like to maybe take some time off the clock and get a long, successful drive going that would culminate with a touchdown that would get them right back in this game.
Yeah, one of the worst things you can do right now if you're Wayne is to panic. It's sort of like being on the golf course. You're playing a par 5. You don't necessarily have to hit driver every shot. Just get there in par. At this point, Wayne really needs to settle down, run its offense, and like you say, take some time off the clock and be patient.
Designed run, nowhere to go. Quarterback dropped back at the 20-yard line, and for Bluefield, Tracy Coppola made the stop.
Something broke down. Somebody missed a block, and I'm not positive who it was. Looking at the replay, it looks like it might have been big number 58 there. It might have been John Dunkel missing a block. I'm not positive. Couldn't tell exactly from that replay, but Coppola just got right through the line and made that hit pretty easily.
You know, it's spelled Coppola. C-O-P-P-O-L-A.
As in Francis Ford.
But that's
yes.
not the way you pronounce it. In fact, his dad showed up at the press box right before the kickoff to say they've been pronouncing
He's their sports
his name
information director.
Wrong all year long. Flag is down. So Tracy's dad says the way they pronounce that name is Coppola.
Hey, it's their name. They can pronounce it how they want.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And it's still 3rd down. 3rd and 16. The line of scrimmage is the 16-yard line. You know, along with Daniel Wells, Tracy, number 45, the outside linebacker, going to make the majority of the tackles in this defense, averaging about 8 stops a game. Made the first of a series of late key plays in their win over Weir. He deflected the ball that Michael Davis intercepted and returned 75 yards for a touchdown. And Wayne deciding at this point not to put the ball in the air. They try to keep it on the ground and hopefully get something going for Gary Rowland. And it's 4th down.
Wayne is just having no luck running its offense right now, Dave. They're really their own worst enemy with the long snap, with the fumble that went back for a touchdown. Wayne is just having no luck at all. They've got to be looking for answers after this quarter.
Time is going to expire before this punt gets off, and the first quarter of the West Virginia Class AA Championship game is in the books. And what a quarter it was for the Bluefield Beavers. Off to a terrific start, and their fans love it here at Wheeling Island Stadium. The Wayne Pioneers were fired up, and so were the Bluefield Beavers for this game. But as we head to the second, Bluefield leads 13-0. Ready to start the second quarter of action, and it's been all sweet music for Bluefield so far. They lead 13-0 over the Wayne Pioneers. Both of these teams are undefeated. The 2 top seeds in West Virginia Class AA clashing tonight with a championship up for grabs, and it is 4th down for Wayne They will punt the football away. Dual safeties for Bluefield, and the Beavers should have terrific field position. High snap. Runyon got that one away, but he shanked it inside the red zone. And that is, well, maybe technically not inside the red zone. It's going to go out of bounds at the 23-yard line. That is a 7-yard punt. And that just kind of feeds into our next little feature here. A series of Wayne Pioneer mistakes.
Yeah, Wayne, you can look at this two ways, Dave. You could say that Wayne has been its own worst enemy, as I said earlier, or you could look at it as Bluefield being opportunistic and being a smart football team and knowing perhaps when they've got a team down mentally. It seems like there's no spark in Wayne whatsoever right now.
All right, the Wayne defense needs to come up big here because Bluefield's going for the early knockout punch. Good gang tackling that time by the Pioneers, and there was just nowhere to go for David Perdue. Perdue's already got a 1-yard touchdown run in this championship game. And for Wayne, Seth Botkins, the senior, made the stop.
Interesting couple of days that Bluefield has had, Dave. We mentioned in our open that they practiced at WVU's indoor practice facility yesterday. Coach Simon taking no chances with buses and weather and that sort of thing this year. He came up a day early this time around.
It looked like Rusty Coburn was changing the play, and whatever he checked off to definitely worked. Yeah. They get the quick handoff up the middle to Quentin Steptoe, and he takes it on down near the 13-yard line. And for Wayne, tackle was made by Justin Rowe.
Uncharacteristic somewhat of Wayne's defense. Dave, obviously Bluefield isn't really piling up the yards, at least not on offense. Wayne's defense pretty effective against Braxton County earlier in this year, holding them to only 86 yards on the rush. Derek, on the other hand, Derek Steptoe there, so far so good for him and for Bluefield's offense.
And it is indeed a first down for Bluefield. So Wayne, a team that really hasn't played from behind all season long, in danger of going down 3 touchdowns here early in the second quarter to the Bluefield Beavers.
Wayne's got to be digging its program out from 2000, Dave. Of course, they knocked off the Beavers 2 years ago, but that was then, and this is now.
That's exactly right. Steptoe. And he spins his way down. Slices his way down to the 9-yard line for a gain of 4, and they found some success as they tried to go off the right side, where Daniel Wells, the center, and Jake Sears and Jeff Hutchinson were taking care of business.
Yeah, Wayne's defense really needs to make a stop here. They really need to step up to the line and make this stick. If you can keep Bluefield to 3, you're in a good spot here. If they get in here, that may be the early knockout punch, like you said earlier.
Second down and 7. And a Wayne defense holding teams to less than 12 points a game. But right now, Bluefield is down to the 5-yard line. And that time, Perdue tried the left side. And we're going to see some great offensive lines in this Super 6. There's been an awful lot of talk about Martinsburg's offensive line. They're massive. But this offensive line of the Bluefield Beavers has 3 seniors on it. And they've had a terrific year. And they're trying to cap it and cap a perfect season with a win tonight.
They're a talented ball club, and it's senior leadership, Dave, that you're talking about there. That's the kind of leadership that allowed the Beavers to come from behind and knock off Weir last weekend.
And there you saw the offensive line from right to left. Handoff inside, easy. It won't get much easier than that. Touchdown, Bluefield. Derek Steptoe, the leading rusher for the Beavers, 836 yards on the season, scores his 10th rushing touchdown.
Well, Steptoe here, I don't think anybody touched it. Well, maybe one guy grabbed him. It looked like somebody had him by the belt there, but you can't tackle guys. You cannot expect to win a state championship with little arm tackles, and that's basically what that was. If you don't wrap up, you're not going to stop anybody.
And the extra point by Lucas Stone is up and good. So Bluefield has been virtually picture perfect here in the first half. Wayne looking to put some plays together in a positive way. When we come back to Wheeling Island Stadium, it's been all Bluefield early. Beavers 20, Pioneers nothing. West Virginia Class AA Championship on the line tonight at Wheeling Island Stadium. 9:27 to go in our first half. And Bluefield, well, they've come the farthest of our Super 6 teams this weekend, but right now they're living the largest. 20-0, the lead over Wayne.
Bluefield, a perfect record. Tommy Harmon has an uphill battle on his hands dealing with the 13-0 Beavers. His ball club at Wayne has made plenty of mistakes so far, Dave.
High short kick by Lucas Stone, taken at the 16-yard line. That's Michael, and he'll take it up to the 31-yard line. That's a 15-yard kickoff return for Tyler Michael. Bluefield scoring drive. This followed a 7-yard Wayne punt. 5 plays, 23 yards in just under 2.5 minutes. Derek Steptoe, a 5-yard touchdown run.
When you have offenses, Dave, that are based on keeping the ball on the ground and not taking a lot of chances with wild passes and big plays, field position plays such a key role. And that little punt that went out of bounds, that shanked ball, really played into Bluefield's favor.
Sure did. There's the handoff to Jake Gilliam. Takes it up for maybe a gain of a yard. Let's send it down to Drew Powell, who's got more on the crew that puts on this fantastic event every year here in Wheeling.
Well, thank you very much. And standing to the right of me is Greg Stewart, co-director of the Super 6. Greg, go ahead and comment on the importance of Wheeling and the Super 6. It's a great relationship, and it's staying here for a couple years.
Yeah, we're so happy to have it back. It's a big economic boom for us, and we always say football is king in High Valley.
And one of the reasons why you're able to keep it is you guys came through with a new playing surface, and it's tough because it survived being under 10 feet of water back in September.
That's correct. The county commission came through back to funding for the field. We had it installed last May, and September this year we had a big flood. This surface was actually under 10 feet of water, and through a lot of efforts of the school board personnel getting it cleaned up, we got it ready, and there's no damage to the surface.
Okay, no damage, and let's hope it stay that way for the remainder of the Super 6. Guys?
All right, Drew, thanks a lot. And nearly another turnover by Wayne on the carry by Gary Rowland. Luckily, that ball came right back to him. It's 3rd down and 5 from the 36-yard line.
I think if I'm Coach Fred Simon, I may ask him actually to buy a lottery ticket for me a little later this evening, because he has all the answers right now. Everything is playing into Bluefield's favor. They look unbeatable.
Wayne 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions, and that pass was tipped. And it looked like Purdue was the one who got his hand on it, knocked it away, and Wayne's going to have to punt again. Boy, Purdue putting in an early mark to be the MVP of this game.
Yeah, Purdue looks awfully dominant right now, Dave. And like we said, everything is playing into Bluefield's favor right now. Purdue and these other Beavers are playing so confidently. Nico Newell back to throw that thing, and Purdue just up to tip it away. Nice little play there. Looked like a basketball player going in for the layup.
And unfortunately for Wayne, Josh Powers was open, and that would have been a first down.
Yeah.
So Runyon set for his 3rd punt. And a flag is down. Dual safeties. And a hard hit on the special teams for Wayne. Mike Davis is going to remember that, but he held on to the football at the 37-yard line, and we'll see what the penalty's all about.
Josh Powers in on that hit.
Brennick Stumbo, Tyler.
Wayne in their first berth in the Super 6 since the year 2000. Procedure pending against the Pioneers. And looks like Fred Simon may make him punt that ball again. And the way the punt game has been going for Wayne, I don't blame him a bit.
I can't help but think, Dave, that one of Tommy Harmon's quotes, turn your mic on, there we go.
Illegal procedure, kicking team, only less than 7 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
So there's another demerit against Wayne. I can't help but think that one of Tommy Harmon's quotes in the newspaper this week isn't playing against him, so to speak, Dave. He told one of the newspapers, we won't be as big-eyed this time around, saying that the loss to Bridgeport back in 2000, his crew was maybe just happy to be there, maybe just amazed by the spectacle of the Super 6. Maybe that's playing against him a little bit. Maybe his words are coming back to haunt him.
Well, you know, you talk about that Bridgeport game, there were only 4 Wayne seniors on that team. This team's got 21 seniors.
How about that? No excuse for this.
And more flags. And it looked like Bluefield wants to call a timeout. So the Beavers opt to burn the first of their 3 timeouts here in the first half. And they stop the clock with 7 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the first half. Fred Simon and crew, it's been a Beaver party. They lead Wayne 20-0. We're back to Wheeling Island Stadium in a moment. 7:36 to go in our first half. Bluefield called a timeout, and they're going to force Wayne to punt the football again. Beavers with a 20-0 lead on the Wayne Pioneers. Both these teams undefeated coming into this game, 13-0. But it's been Bluefield that's looked like the elite team so far tonight. Another shank punt, but it's going to get a decent roll and will go out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
That was a worm burner.
26-yard punt and the 26-yard net.
I'm not positive what's going on with the punting game there, because that's the second ball that's been shanked, and it's the same punter that has shanked both of those balls, Dave. Both times it's been Daniel Runyon, and they just seem to be flying off the side of his foot. I'm not sure what's happening.
You know, you were at the Wayne game last week,
right,
the one that was played in such muddy conditions. I wonder if he was wearing gloves to punt the ball on both hands in that game as well. I think that's affecting the way the ball's coming out of his hand before it goes off the foot. Average field position, Bluefield. Great field position. Here's Coburn with a pass, and it's nearly intercepted at the 40-yard line.
That could have been a momentum changer right there.
In and out of the hands of Bradley Abbott.
Well, Tom Harmon and the Wayne Pioneers need something, Dave. They need something to go right for them. And if it means making a pickoff, if it means getting a turnover from somebody like Coburn in the Beaver offense, they need anything they can get right now. You've got to figure with 7:23 until you go to the locker room, Wayne has got to have a hungry desire to put anything on the board right now.
Well, also, you're kind of getting to the point of the game now where Wayne might have to get away from their game plan, which is ball control. They can throw the ball, but they prefer to run it. To the 44-yard line, a gain of a yard and no more. That was Purdue on the carry. No, it's funny. Here's Purdue coming up so big in this championship game. Last week against Weir in the semifinals, only 11 yards on 8 carries.
What about that? And if you look at the replay here, you see that really nice tackle by Mark Daniels, the defensive end, stepping up to make the tackle. Wayne's kids don't look like they've given up. They just don't look like they're that confident right now. And being down 20-0, you got to be asking yourself, what's happening?
Here's Steptoe trying to get wide. And he's going to be brought down shy of the first down at the 48-yard line. That's a gain of only 3. And so Bluefield's going to have to punt the ball again. You know, Wayne's defense has not played that bad.
No, they haven't played that badly at all. But when you're giving the opponent such good field position, when you're giving them the ball inside the red zone consistently with high snaps, bad special teams plays, shanked punts, then you really don't have much of a chance as a defensive unit.
I think that's exactly right. Now Lucas Stone is back to punt. I don't believe Lucas Stone is wearing gloves. No, he is not. No. And he gets a line drive punt away. Michael will take it at the 17-yard line. Great move. And then across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. Let's send it down to Drew, who's standing by with one of the Beavers that really brought a lot of flavor to the Marshall Thundering Herd defense, Charlie Tynes.
Right.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, I'm joined on the sidelines here by Charlie Tynes. And Charlie, the last time you were up here, Bluefield won a state title, and that was all the way back in 1997. You were part of that championship team. Got to have some great memories from here, right?
Oh, yes, I do. You know, the cold weather, well, we had played in snow. They just got a little cold weather tonight, but hey, it was a wet and it was a long one. The way it looks tonight, these guys doing real good. And
so far, so good, as Bluefield's off to a great start, 20-0.
Oh, yes. Coach Simon had those guys ready at the beginning of the game, and they just turning it over right here on the field.
All right, there we hear it, ladies and gentlemen, from a guy who knows a little something about Bluefield High School football, Charlie Tynes.
All right, thanks so much. And that's Daniel Runyon on the carry, and he takes it up near the 35-yard line. Did you hear Drew say all the way back in 1997 like that was some mythical moment in the past?
I think we got socks older than Drew, don't we?
All the way back in 1997.
Hey, you know, he just showed you one heck of a football player there in Charlie Tynes. I'll never forget the role that he played in the GMAC Bowl, leading Marshall back to knock off East Carolina back in 2002.
Yeah, Charlie Tynes, good player for Bluefield and for the Herd. 2nd down and 6 at the 35. Not much happening that time. A gain of about a yard. Trying to get to the outside. And Gilliam obviously has some speed, but he just couldn't get a chance to use it as he tried to get around the left side.
Wayne has run that little sweep play, Dave. They've run that several times. They just can't seem to turn it upfield and turn that into yards. It seems to be a block along the edge there that they just don't seem to find.
And Gilliam also a very dangerous pass receiver. He had touchdown catches in the first 2 playoff victories for Wayne. A 34-yarder to open the scoring against Scott and a 54-yard touchdown catch against Braxton County. 3rd down. Ball's loose. And that is going to be ruled a fumble. And the Bluefield Beavers have it at the 35-yard line. Newell appeared to be in the process of trying to bring his arm forward, but that will be ruled a fumble.
Are we going to see the Tom Brady tuck rule come into play on this one, Dave? It looks as if his arm, that's too close to call for me. I'm going to say that his arm was not moving forward. Let's take a look at here.
Here's another look. Oh, that is a tough call.
That's a close call. I suppose if you're the referee, you've got to give that one to the defense, though everything's on their side right now.
So Bluefield making another big play on defense. They'll start this drive from the Wayne 35. Coburn going for the knockout blow. Play action pass on 1st down to the end zone. In and out of the hands of the defensive back, Jacob Gilliam. Jake Gilliam had that ball in his hands at the 5-yard line, couldn't hold it.
It looked like Mike Davis was going to come away with this. Look at this ball that Coburn lets fly. It looked like Davis was going to get the deflected ball. Wow, that was a close call. That would have been the play of the night.
Well, what's really interesting about that is the ball was right in his hands, and then it took Michael, the free safety, to knock that ball away to make sure Davis didn't catch it. 2nd down and 10. 4 wide this time for Bluefield in a 1-back set. Steptoe inside the 30, still on his feet, and is brought down near the 26-yard line. Sean McDowell, let's go ahead and take another look at that play that was ruled a fumble.
Here's Nico Newell back to pass. The hit is on him, and from that view, I can't honestly say that his arm was moving forward.
You know, that's the 2nd major fumble of the 1st half caused by Daniel Wells.
That ball looked like it just popped loose to me.
3rd down and a yard. And don't forget, we're getting to the part of the field where Lucas Stone is a valuable commodity, one of the outstanding field goal kickers in West Virginia. Needed to reach the 25-yard line for the 1st down. I don't think he's got it. It's going to be 4th and less than a yard. Again, it was Steptoe on the carry.
Davey mentioned Tyler Michael a second ago. He's a great story in that he just transferred over to Wayne from nearby Spring Valley. Of course, they're a AAA program. He's brand new in Tommy Harmon's camp and he came up with 86 tackles in his 1st year at Wayne.
Davis is going to come off the field. No wide receivers as the Beavers will go into the power set. Look at it, full house backfield on 4th and less than a yard. And now a timeout whistled on the field. And we'll take it with them. 2:49 remaining in the 1st half. Bluefield with a 20-0 lead, and the Beavers are threatening again. 4th down, less than a yard for Bluefield. Following the Wayne timeout, the Beavers, full house backfield from the 26. Flag is down. Steptoe goes off the left side and picks up the 1st down easily, but we'll have to check out the penalty.
What would the mood in this locker room be like, Dave, at halftime if Bluefield is up 27 or more than that, perhaps 28-0? Coach Fred Simon probably never saw that coming.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
All right, so that changes things immeasurably. Now the line of scrimmage is the 30-yard line. It's 4th down and 6. For Lucas Stone, if you were thinking about it, this would be a 47-yard field goal. That's a little bit out of his range. So the Beavers will go for it.
And in his defense, that's a heck of a kick for any high school
kicker.
Sure it is. Sure.
No wind tonight, though, and we are playing on AstroTurf. Coburn back to pass. Going to step up, going to run for it, check it. He threw for it, and it's caught for a first down inside the 10 and all the way down to the 6-yard line. Spinning goes Jonathan Repass.
You know, Repass really made a nice spin after the play, but let me start by praising Coburn. Wow, is this kid playing impressive football tonight. Taking another look at this one. Coburn plays this one with a lot of confidence. He steps up to pass, sees the rush coming, rolls to his left, and just lets a perfect little floater together. And here's Repass putting a juke on 1, 2, looked like 4 guys. Yeah, looked like 4 tacklers before he was finally brought down. That's a great play.
24-yard gain for the transfer from Princeton. Here's Steptoe. It looked like it was going to open up for an easy touchdown, but quickly the hole collapsed and Steptoe goes down near the 3-yard line.
Dave Steptoe was one of the heroes in the Martinsburg game that we mentioned from back in October. Steptoe had 3 touchdowns to knock off the Bulldogs that day, and he helped lead a big 14-play drive down the stretch to run out the clock on Martinsburg, who was threatening to come back and win that one.
There he is. 13 touchdowns. You can see he's also been very effective as a pass receiver. They got another timeout called with 1:55 remaining in the first half.
Steptoe's just one of several impressive players Fred Simon has. That's a heck of a good ball club.
Oh, they've had a great season. This is a very talented team. You know, you and I were talking yesterday about last year's game and what a heartbreak it was for Bluefield. If you think about it, last year in the 4th quarter, they had a 14-7 lead on Polka and the football with less than 10 minutes to go at the dot 31-yard line.
Right, yeah, they had a lot of opportunities in that one, and if not for a bad snap, hey, we're seeing bad snaps here tonight, lo and behold. If not for a bad snap last year, that game could have gone to triple overtime. We may have played all night that night.
And in that game, we don't want to go too far down memory lane, but in that game, if you remember last year, Rusty Coburn didn't complete a pass until the touchdown.
Wow,
at the end of regulation.
I don't think we're going to see that happen tonight.
No, he's already completed a pass.
Yeah, there you
go.
Big one. See, I'm right.
Martinsburg is in the house. Now the plan is that they're only going to hang around for the first half. Then they're going to break out of here at halftime and get ready for their nooner tomorrow against Morgantown.
I think the Martinsburg boys remember Bluefield.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That was Purdue on the carry. Takes it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. How about that? You know, talking to some of Martinsburg's coaches about that game at Bluefield, a 31-28 win for the Beavers. That wasn't a home and home. That was a 1-game deal. Bluefield will not return that game to Martinsburg.
And how would you like to have that bus ride to get there? Wow, from the Eastern Panhandle all the way down to the Virginia border to play Bluefield and to take a whooping at that.
Well, you take a look at these elite teams in West Virginia, and nobody wants to schedule them. You can understand why. And that time it's Derek Steptoe. And hold it right there, big guy. Come on, come on.
He's still going.
Oh, now that's plays of the week material.
That
right
little
there.
engine
That's good
could.
Stuff.
That little engine could.
Bring it back, Eddie White. That was Derek Steptoe is down, and the line of scrimmage is inside the 1-yard line.
He may be injured, Dave. Not sure what happened to him. I'd be interested to see that.
That play was whistled dead, and that's when Eddie White picked up the ball and thought he was heading to the house.
Here's my chance. I'm off to the races.
Derek Steptoe, of course, he had one of the biggest plays of the year last week. Talk about that after we see the replay of the play.
Here's the hand of Steptoe. Let's see what happened to him. Looks like he may have gotten a knee. Yeah, it looks like he may have gotten stepped on in the middle of all that fracas. And then there's our man off to the races and taking him with him.
Coburn's holding it with one hand.
With him. Somebody corral that engine.
Is that ball out? There's the whistle.
I can't see it.
Yeah, we can't really hear the whistle. Steptoe's back up on his feet and does need a little help as he heads to the sideline. Meanwhile, it's 4th down at the 1-yard line for Bluefield, and this is a huge play in this game for the Wayne defense. They're already down 20-0.
I was about to say the same thing. I realized that Bluefield's threatening to score here, but the most important number on that scoreboard, 0. Did you actually think Wayne would be shut out for this half? I certainly didn't, but Bluefield is just that good.
Powerhouse set. Steptoe got the ball, and I don't think he scored. The Wayne defense holds.
How about that?
That's a big play for Wayne. They needed something to go right in this first half. And so the Beavers drive to the Wayne 1, and the Pioneer D turns them away.
Taking another look at this one, Purdue with the hand. It looks like Steptoe just gets pushed back.
Look at Powers in there pulling him back.
Big number 71, Joseph Deeds, making the tackle there. Pushing his man back and denying him. How about that?
Now Mark Daniels all fired up on the sideline.
Oh, he ought to be after that stop.
You know,
Wayne's got a ways to go here. We'll see what Newell can do with the arm.
Now here they have to avoid the safety here and make sure they don't get caught in the end zone. And just diving forward is Newell. Clock is stopped. We got a flag down, I believe. There it is. Here's the call from Charles Clemens. Half the distance to the goal. What's that, about 7 inches?
I'd say you could measure that with your hand.
I don't doubt that. That is about as close to the goal line as you can get, and this is a dangerous situation for Wayne. They have to surge forward to stay out of the end zone and avoid the safety, and it looks like they're going to be able to do that. Now Bluefield could have called a timeout, and they're going to call a timeout here. I think that's a good call. I mean, you're down here in very dangerous territory. Let's make Wayne snap the football.
I agree with you. Make them snap the football, and there's always a chance of a fumble. There's always a chance you're going to get a turnover in the red zone, and that puts you even Steven, man. Taking another look at this, he slips out of there. Of course, we're talking about Newell, and I'm not quite sure when the whistle blew on this play. Well, not quite sure where it was.
Well, he ended up outside the 5-yard line, but the ball is down at the 3. It's all academic anyway for Wayne. All they're trying to do is create some space. Let's see if we can pick up the whistle. I think we can on this replay. Let's listen in.
Let's listen.
Oh, you know what? That's a great replay. Our crew is excellent.
Yeah,
that turned out to be a great spot. That's exactly where the ball is.
Oh, we love our audio operators, don't we?
Let's not go overboard.
I'm especially fond of the tape operators, the producers. Our producers, okay.
I mean, it's one thing to give props, but it's another to pile on. I mean, 19 seconds to go here in the first half. We got a lot of interesting stuff coming up at the half. Both these teams have really had very interesting seasons, and we'll hear from some of the key players.
Bluefield's loaded with some excellent
seniors. We're going to hear from that guy as well, Tommy Harmon. This has not been a very pleasant first half for Wayne. Drew Powell will get his comments in just a moment. They're going to throw the ball, and it's intercepted. Incredible. Steptoe with the interception.
What about that?
Steptoe comes up and makes the interception. Why is Wayne throwing the ball?
I suppose Tommy Harmon thought he might catch Bluefield sleeping at that point. He's tried to punch it up the gut so many times in a row. I suppose the thought was, let's try something different and see if we can catch them sleeping.
Newell with his 9th interception of the year. And he was not open.
No, nobody was open there.
Gillum was not open. And so here you go. Wayne, now they've got to stop Bluefield. And the Beavers with a chance here to take a crack at the end zone from the 12-yard line. 3 Wayne turnovers here in the first half.
And they have all hurt. What about that? Bluefield has been very opportunistic. They've taken advantage of every shot they've gotten.
Wayne's going to take a timeout. So no flag on the play. Got to think about why that play was called, and once you make the decision to throw the ball, why that kind of a play? I mean, if you're looking for a long bomb, why not a streak? I guess the answer to that is you go for the short drop and you think you get the ball out of there quickly, and maybe that's where the element of surprise is.
As best as I could see, it looked to me as if it was a short drop by Newell, and he just wanted to get the ball out of his hands for fear of standing in the end zone with a football.
Now this is a situation where Lucas Stone becomes very important here. Stone has the ability to kick a field goal.
Wayne called that timeout, by the way, Dave. There were 12 men on the field. They would have had a too many men on the field situation there. They would have had the penalty.
So Wayne is out of timeouts. Bluefield has one timeout remaining. So they still have the option to perhaps run on this play if they choose to. 1st and 10 from the 12. They'll go with 3 wide. Coburn to the end zone. Touchdown, Bluefield. A perfect fade route, and it goes for a touchdown. And it's repass, the transfer from Princeton, coming up with the big play on the receiving end of a 12-yard touchdown pass from Rusty Coburn.
Repass, of course, had that beautiful play down the home sideline just a few minutes ago. This one right into our sideline camera. An incredible catch, and nice job by our camera crew as well. Coburn looking tough.
Repass, reacts, touchdown, Bluefield.
And now Wayne fans really have to be asking what was going on with that pass play that turned out to be a turnover. Looks like there's a flag on the play, Dave.
Gonna have to check the batteries on that microphone. Hey,
Encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat the try.
All right, so they're going to repeat that point after try.
Mistakes have haunted tonight, Dave, for sure.
Look at this. Fumble. Bad snap on the punt that resulted in a touchdown. That drive started at the 1-yard line. Another bad punt that led to a touchdown. Fumble. Stone. Stone missed again. Missed that one. What is up with that? Missed that one wide to the left. He's missed 2 extra points here in the first half. And now another flag is down.
Did they rough the kicker?
Did Wayne rough Stone? Yes, they did.
Stone, part of an excellent kicking game that Bluefield has, Dave.
You know, when Wayne goes back to check this first half, they won't have anything. Their performance here in the first half didn't stack to the tape.
Distance to the goal. Retry.
Okay, good point there.
Bluefield.
All right, Bluefield's going to call their last timeout. And it wasn't Stone, it was Purdue, the holder, who was roughed.
Oh, high snap.
That really didn't look like it warranted a penalty.
No, that was an odd call.
In fact, it really looked like Tyler Michael was trying to avoid Purdue. Purdue did a good job to get that ball down.
You know, Dave, when this football game started and Wayne broke out with that long running play down their own sideline, it looked like we were going to see a boring night and maybe even a frustrating night for Bluefield and their kids. Instead, the momentum shifted tremendously toward Bluefield on down the stretch.
There's the miscues. Fumble, bad snap on the punt, bad punt, fumble, and then the interception just moments ago by Steptoe that led to the touchdown pass. Coburn to repass.
That's a good point. The fumble that did not result in a touchdown, that was on the 1. Wayne has been its own worst enemy for sure.
Well, we'll see if the third time is the charm. Oh, well, no, Lucas Stone isn't even going to try this. They're going to go for it. They're going to go for 2. Full house backfield. Handoff. Spinning into the end zone. 2-point conversion. For Bluefield, that was T.J. Morris, the fullback. 2-point conversion run successful for Bluefield.
Tommy Harmon has a bit of a crisis on his hands here for sure, Dave. I think it's important that Wayne's coaching staff take these kids into the locker room at halftime, and they need to say, look, this is not insurmountable. You have to go out. First and foremost, you have to stop making mistakes. Second, you have to run your offense, and their defense at this point has to make some plays because Bluefield is going to run time off the clock in the second half. Wayne may not get enough touches.
You know, I know how strange this is going to sound, but Wayne's defense has really not played that bad.
No, they haven't. But again, as we said earlier, when Wayne's offense continues to give the ball away at key points on the field, we talked so much about field position earlier. When you continue to give the football away where it counts, where it will help your opposition, you have no chance, especially against a good team like Bluefield.
Well, there were plenty of opinions about who would win this game before we kicked it off, but I didn't hear anybody even hint at the idea that this game could be a blowout.
No, I didn't. In fact, I heard most people picking a 3-point win one way or the other, maybe 7, not 28.
Squib kick by Stone. This is Powers, and Powers is brought down as he reaches the 34-yard line. Time for one more snap. Both these teams are out of timeouts. This final minute has taken nearly a half an hour to play.
Yeah, it really has. And Newell can really bring the pass. He has a good arm and can throw. We're going to see what he can do now, but wow, has Wayne's offense suffered. They have absolutely languished.
51 yards on their first offensive snap. Powers with that run deep into Bluefield territory. Since then, 27 offensive plays for minus 16 yards.
As we said earlier, that Powers play that we were talking about looked powerful. It looked like Wayne was headed to the promised land. Not so.
Going to run the football, and we have come to the end of the first half. And this first half had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Unfortunately, if you're a Wayne fan, it was all bad.
3 turnovers for the Pioneers, and that has really, really diminished their chances of beating a tough team in Bluefield, Dave.
Let's send it down to Drew Powell, who's standing by with the head coach of the Wayne Pioneers.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, indeed. I'm joined by head coach Tommy Harmon. And, coach, you're down 28-0. What do you have to do to correct the problems?
Well, first off, you know, they've kind of steamrolled us this half. We need to calm down just a little bit and do the basic things. We made enough mistakes this half to last us a lifetime. But listen, our kids will come out, and I guarantee you they'll play hard in this second half. We just need to cut out some of the mistakes that we've been making against a very good football team.
What would you say has contributed to the penalties and the turnovers in the first half?
Well, when you start out with a fumble, return for a touchdown, and then you throw in bad special teams on the punt snap and those things get steamrolled. Listen, they haven't really they made a nice play at the end of the half. We took a gamble to try to get back in the game there, try to sneak an end out, but you know, we came here to win, so we're going to try.
Okay, coach, good luck to you in the second half. That's head coach Tommy Harmon of the Wayne Pioneers. It's safe to say they have a few things to address at halftime.
All right, Drew, thanks a lot. And that showed a lot of class by Tom Harmon to stop on his way off the field to talk to us. Appreciate that.
Some situations aren't easy to talk about. This has got to be one of them.
We are at the break. What a first half it's been for Bluefield. The Beavers head back to the locker room with a commanding 28-0 lead over unbeaten Wayne. Our halftime activities begin in just a moment from Wheeling Island Stadium. Wayne and Bluefield, the top 2 seeds in this playoff bracket. But the first half, Sean McDowell, definitely belonged to the Bluefield Beavers. They did everything right, and they took full advantage of every Wayne miscue.
Not to criticize Bluefield, Dave, but Wayne really hasn't done anything right. They have 3 turnovers, and they've made 5 key plays that have gone against them, including bad kicks, bad snaps. Everything that Wayne has done has turned into nothing.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights, and as you might imagine, they are seriously flavored by the Beavers. Rusty Coburn, 2 for 5, throwing the football in the first half. Both of his passes went to Jonathan Repass. And the transfer from Princeton pulls in a touchdown late in the first half. And here's a pass that kept the drive alive and got the Beavers down inside the 10-yard line.
2 catches for him, 38 yards thus far, looking strong.
David Perdue with a touchdown run and then a big play defensively, deflecting that pass away from Josh Powers. For more on the Bluefield Beavers, let's send it down to Drew, who's standing by to talk about the Bluefield seniors who look to be primed to win a state championship tonight.
Well, thanks very much, guys. Yes, indeed. Head coach Fred Simon of the Bluefield Beavers has some talented seniors on this year's team, and they have experience when it comes to the Super Six. This year, they aim to win it all. The Bluefield Beavers have one goal for the Super Six: to raise up the championship trophy instead of finishing runner-up. That goal is especially important for the 15 seniors on the team, 7 who have played in 2 previous Super Six title games.
I think this is the final piece of the puzzle for these seniors. I mean, we worked hard for the past 4 years. We come up short the past 2 championship games. I think this would be the perfect way to go out for these guys.
Past 2 years, though, it's been real heartbreaking. Hopefully we get up there, get a chance to redeem ourselves. That's all we need is a chance. That's all you can ask for.
Coming up short the past 2 years really hurt, and being able to win our senior year and my last chance would be a real blessing, and I'd be extremely happy along with the rest of my fellow seniors.
Coach Fred Simon says it's vital the seniors have the right mindset as they approach their final game of their prep careers.
It's as important a game as they'll ever play. It's the biggest game of their lives, and they just have to treat it like that. Be relaxed, but play hard, and I think everything will take care of itself.
Coach Simon has manned the Beavers sidelines for 19 years and has one title on his resume thanks to the 1997 team. But 4 appearances in the Super Six have resulted in losses. The senior class would like nothing better than to watch Coach Simon add a second title.
It would be great to go out with a bang, and we've been working for it for 4 years, came up short the last 2, and we're hoping to get it this year.
Great for Coach Simon. I mean, it was heartbreaking for him for it to come down to that. I just remember the bus ride home, and he didn't really talk much. It was heartbreaking for him, and I just hope we win the championship.
Well, I'm very happy that they get to play in the final game. They've worked very hard. There's harder working seniors I've ever had.
And when you're leading 28-0 at halftime, it's safe to say you're off to a good start.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. And for Wayne, this has been a magical season, and for the Brooks brothers, the playoffs have been especially wonderful.
Well, Dave, Wheeling Island Stadium is loaded with heroes tonight, but there's another kind of hero, the kind that serves our country overseas. A little earlier this season, we visited Pioneer Field to see what kind of inspirational force has unified this team.
They watch and they wait. Wayne High School's Jeremy and Justin Brooks are identical offensive linemen with identical concerns overseas. Idle chatter of football has changed to worries about war. Sergeant First Class Millie Brooks shipped out to the Middle East back in March, leaving the twins and their father behind. Now the Brooks boys await their mother's return from what could be a tour of duty lasting a full year.
It was hard. We went out to Kansas to see her right before she left, and we came back on that day, and she was flying out to go to Kuwait the same day, I think.
What'd she tell you?
See you in a year.
She's the type of person you like having representing your country, and she answered the call, and you know, a lot of people at home have to pay the sacrifice like these boys and her husband.
Kickoffs at Pioneer games don't happen until Justin and Jeremy pay tribute to their mom's service. Every game is recorded and mailed to Millie's base in Iraq, where a certain military truck driver uses the games to feel more at home. In return, Mom sends a greeting of her own to remind this team they're playing for something bigger than a win or a loss.
Well, at first it was kind of hard, but now she's been gone a while. We kind of got used to it. And with sports and school, you don't have much time to think about it.
I mean, I know that if that was my mom, it would bother me, and it would always be on my mom, but I respect them for not being able to handle it the way they do and play football and just play because they know their mom wants them to play.
This has become such a sensitive issue for the Brooks brothers that Jeremy isn't comfortable talking about his mom or the war in Iraq. Both the boys are hopeful that their mom will be home in time for Senior Day here at Pioneer Field in November. When Millie does get home, whenever that is, she'll be more than just their mother. She'll be an American hero.
She was like just such a good person that when she gets back, you know, everybody will look up to her that much more, because I mean, I do, for what she's doing.
Yeah, I'm proud. There's not a lot of people that say she does what she does. There's only a few people.
And for now, they wait for the love only a mother can give.
Good job, partner. That's a real good story. You have to root for those guys.
Dave, the most important picture in that story was the final shot. Millie Brooks back for a playoff game at Wayne. leading the team out of the tunnel as an American hero.
That was a chilling shot, her running onto the field with that flag. That was really terrific.
Great kids, are twin sons.
All right, let's talk about something terrific that's happening here at Wheeling Island Stadium. Everybody remembers the snow and the mud last year.
Tried to forget it.
Yeah, but now they've got AstroTurf here, and that's been a big positive for the Super Six, and it's now more than a decade-long stay in Wheeling. Here's a look at some of the turf now, and you know, back in the middle of September, this entire facility was underwater. They put down this brand new turf, and it ended up underwater.
I've heard measurements everything from 9 feet of water to 12 feet of water. The interesting thing, if you look around the stadium, Dave, you can see watermarks various places in the stadium.
It's a crazy story. Here's more on the turf here at Wheeling Island Stadium.
Wheeling Island Stadium looks as good as ever, but check it out from September. It took a pounding by one of the worst floods in Ohio Valley history. It is truly amazing what this stadium looks like now compared to a couple of months ago when the floodwaters hit Wheeling Island. And realistically, without this turf, the games may not have been played here this year.
They probably would have pulled it and put it in some place like Parkersburg. I don't think we could have gotten natural grass back to the point that we have brought the turf back.
Field works for Ohio County community, has been working tirelessly.
The whole grounds inside.
All right, we apologize for the technical difficulties with that story from Mike Anthony, but I think you get the idea that it took an awful lot of work following that flooded out situation to get this field ready to play. Second half coming up, Bluefield 28, Wayne nothing. 28-0, Bluefield leads Wayne Class AA West Virginia State Championship game here at Wheeling Island Stadium. Our Drew Powell standing by. He'll have the head coach of the Bluefield Beavers, Fred Simon, in just a moment. And I don't think Fred's got this one packed away in the win case yet.
No, I don't think so, because we've seen bigger comebacks than this. The question is, Dave, at this point, will Wayne possess the football enough? Will Bluefield take so much time off the clock with their running game that maybe Wayne just doesn't touch it enough?
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, when you get down like this, you know, there's no 29-point play. What you've got to do is you've got to put some positive plays back to back to back. Now let's send it down to Drew, who's standing by with the head coach of the Bluefield Beavers.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm joined now by head coach Fred Simon of the Bluefield Beavers. Coach, you're up 28-0, but you've been on both sides of the ball when upsets happen and seen all kinds of crazy stuff in the second half. What do you have to do to make sure that your team stays focused and can take care of business here in the second half?
Well, we know that Wayne has been a good second half ball club. I know they haven't been down by this many points, but they have been a good second half ball club. We just got to play hard. We got to keep our mind into the game and our bodies into the game, and hopefully we'll pull it out.
Comment on the offense. What do you look to do a little bit differently to try to throw Wayne out, Wayne's defense out of sync or out of rhythm?
We'll probably throw a little bit more to start the second half and keep running. But we've had such great field position. Really, our offense hadn't had a chance to get in sync. But we scored when we had the opportunity to, so let's see what happens here.
Okay, Coach, thanks very much for joining us. You're up 28-0. Good luck to you.
Thank you all.
Head coach Fred Simon and the Bluefield Beavers in the second half. Already leading 28-0. Should be an exciting second half here at Wheeling Island Stadium.
All right, Drew, appreciate that. I think Fred was playing possum there.
Maybe
I don't think he's going to come out throwing the ball. I think he wants that clock to run as quickly as possible.
There's no question about that. And remember this, Dave, in beating Martinsburg back in October, the Beavers had a 17-point lead at one time and let that shrink in the late going, holding on to beat Martinsburg by only 3. It's not unthinkable that some of this lead could be chipped away.
All right, our halftime stats. How about Bluefield? They've got 28 points on the board and only 84 total yards. And maybe the other big stat is down in the turnover column, where Wayne has 3 big turnovers.
Well, the big stat I see is points off turnovers. I think you mentioned that one. 21 off turnovers, 21-3. That tells me that they've gotten 7 points, an average of off every turnover.
Well, if you remember before the game, Bluefield deferred to the second half, so they'll get the ball first. And that was a nightmare punt attempt by Daniel Runyon. It led to a 1-yard touchdown. There was a 7-yard punt, and that one went a little farther. But still, that's been a mess. Offensively, just nowhere to go for the Pioneers offense. Bluefield has just been up to the task. And Tommy Harmon looking for some answers. Fred Simon made a good point, too, to our Drew Powell moments ago about the fact that Wayne has a tendency to play very well in the second half. He's been looking at those game tapes. Wayne's first possession of the third quarter has gone for a touchdown in every game so far in the playoffs.
Their first possession, I beg your pardon, of the third quarter against Shady, Dave, that went for a touchdown on a Nico Newell play. But one of the problems that Newell has, he's been looking up at the stadium lights too much. He's been sacked 4 times. It's hard to complete passes when you're laying on your back.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting situation here for Wayne. Do you even consider an onside kick here to start the second half to try to get momentum? No. Line drive kick. Taken at the 26-yard line. And this is Purdue trying to get wide. And he's brought down at the 34-yard line. So line drive kick, short kick. Purdue was able to kind of knock it down like a hockey goalie and finally chase it down and bring it back to the 34-yard line.
On that return, Purdue really dropped the shoulder and gave Bradley Abbott a little greeting, the junior there. Dropped the shoulder and popped his pad pretty good.
Yeah, I just want to get a little hockey reference in there. We don't have any NHL hockey.
I miss the NHL.
We're in the only city in West Virginia with professional hockey. The Nailers actually have a game tonight. 1st and 10 for Bluefield. They'll start their first possession of the third quarter from the 34-yard line. 28-0. I don't think anybody could have seen that coming.
Not by any means. Not by, it seemed to be a dead even matchup. Bluefield perhaps with a slight edge at the beginning of the game just because they're the #1 team in AA. But certainly nobody saw this.
Now Bluefield averaging just under 41 points a game. Coburn steps up. Flag is down. And the pass is away to Derek Steptoe. And Steptoe will take it up to the 43-yard line, but we'll have to see what the flag is all about. Got to believe it may be a holding penalty against the Beavers.
It certainly looked like the Beavers wanted to pass that time. It looked like Coburn was back looking for a receiver, Dave.
And it is indeed holding against Bluefield. So after a first half that was filled with miscues by Wayne, Bluefield comes stumbling out of the gate a little bit here to begin the third quarter.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot on the foul. Repeat first down.
I think that's on Daniel Wells, the center.
And they don't give the numbers in high school like they do in college now.
I wish they did sometimes. I suppose when they're amateur athletes, at least at the high school level, you don't want to do that.
Boy, Seth Botkins was stepping right into the passing lane there. That could have been an interception. If
yeah.
he got his hand on the ball, he would have scored.
He probably would have. It looked like there was nobody to guard him in the flat.
3 wide this time for Bluefield. And here comes Steptoe. Well, Steptoe, who was injured in the first half, looks pretty good right there. He's still got the Jets, but only picks up a yard. And they're getting all fired up over on the defensive side. Trevor Markham.
Trevor's all fired up. And why shouldn't he be with Wayne making tackles like this? If you can put some of these together, maybe you can chip away at this lead. But down 28-0, Wayne's defense really needs to come up with a takeaway, not a tackle.
And Markham can make big plays. 6'4", 240, a junior. Already receiving interest from quite a few 1A football teams, including the Thundering Herd. There's a pass. It's caught. And the reception is made by Mike Davis. Up at the 34-yard line, near the first. No, check that. It'll be a gain of about 8 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
This is what's made Davis the primary touchdown catcher, pass target, if you will, for the Beavers, Dave. 961 yards catches, or receiving, I should say, on the season thus far. Those are regular season numbers, I beg your pardon. He can also play on special teams, too. He had a 55-yard punt return versus Woodrow Wilson in a blowout win over them earlier in the season.
Also had a punt return for a touchdown against Kaiser. Coburn 3 for 6 now, throwing the football, and the pocket collapsed. Coburn able to fight his way back up, but unable to get away from Wayne. Justin Gilkerson that made the stop. You know, I was going to say this in the first half. Coburn's one of those guys, he's bigger than some of the linemen that protect him.
Yeah, he's a good-sized fella.
Coburn 6'3", 212. He was featured prominently in our halftime feature by Drew Powell.
One of those terrific seniors that Fred Simon has at Bluefield High School.
And he's bigger than 3 of the offensive linemen for Bluefield. Stone gets it away. Now we'll take a nice Bluefield roll and will go dead at the 23-yard line. That's a 48-yard punt, no return. 9:07 to go in the third. Wayne will touch the football for the first time in the second half. We will return to Wheeling Island. 9:07 to go, third quarter, first series of the second half. And look at the power set by the Wayne Pioneers as they try to get back to their running game. And right away we have whistles and a flag is down on the play.
Not quite sure what this penalty is just yet, Dave, but Wayne finally got its first 3 and out at this ball game on that last defensive stretch.
Charles Clements, our referee tonight.
Ryan Albert in on the play.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Boy, Tommy Harmon can't catch a break. Cannot catch a break tonight. How many, let me ask you this. How many teams down 28-0 start their first second half possession in a formation with no wide receivers?
I guess that suggests that Harmon is confident in his system and he is going to stick with it, do or die.
Wayne 8 penalties for 28 yards. Going to try to blow some people off the ball, and wow, Coburn just hammered Tyler Michael. Let's send it down to Drew for a little of an injury update on Quentin Steptoe. What's up, Drew?
Yeah, guys, he was injured there just before halftime when Bluefield had the ball. And the injury, according to the trainer of the Bluefield Beavers, is that he injured his neck and he had his bell rung. But he's as tough as they come. He's back in the ball game, trying to help the Bluefield Beavers win a state title.
All right, Drew, thanks a lot. Had his bell rung. I love those medical terms.
I can't believe Steptoe is only listed at 6 feet 180. He plays bigger than that, that's for sure.
Man, I'm loving this formation. No wide. And it's a quarterback keeper all the way. And just nowhere to go that time for Nick Newell.
I believe that formation, Dave, is what they would refer to as smash mouth football.
At 75 yards on 5 carries against Shady last week. Had a 17-yard touchdown run to cap a 7-play 52-yard drive to begin the second half of their win in the semifinals against Shady Spring last week.
We mentioned that earlier, and Newell is an unusual scrambling quarterback in that he almost runs like a big tailback. He's very hips loose, runs side to side very, very well.
A couple of wide receivers in this formation, and the snap goes over his head, and it's picked up, and that is a touchdown for Bluefield.
TJ Morris.
Morris is coming up big. He has a run for a 2-point conversion in the first half, and there the shotgun snap goes over the quarterback's head, and it's a Bluefield touchdown.
We saw a bad snap play a role early on, Dave, as Wayne tried to, their long snapper tried to snap earlier in the half, early in the first half, we should say. Now Newell working out of the shotgun. Things don't work out so well with the long snapper in that situation either. Wayne has nowhere to run right now.
Lucas Stone, the kick is up, and he's able to shoot it on through.
That was a 2-iron.
And there's a flag down on the field. So we'll sort this penalty out. And that's a personal foul, roughing the kicker, and that'll be assessed on the kickoff. So the point after attempt is going to be good.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff, 15 yards. The points are good.
35-0 Bluefield over Wayne. We're back to Wheeling Island Stadium in a moment. How about that Bluefield defense? 7:36 to go in the third quarter. Bluefield 35, Wayne nothing. Sean McDowell, tonight Bluefield has taken advantage of their opportunities all 4 Wayne turnovers have been converted into Beaver points.
BHS has scored on all 4 turnovers, Dave, and that's not even to add in bad snaps, punts that have flown off the sides of punters' feet. And we mentioned the statistic earlier in the broadcast about first half, 299 to 30 that Bluefield had outscored its opposition before halftime. As of now, not counting the touchdown that just went up, you can make that total 327 to 30 in first halves.
Let's see if maybe Lucas Stone can put this one through the uprights with the personal foul running into the kicker penalty assessed. His kickoff will come from the Wayne 45.
My goodness.
Oh, it's an onside kick. Great time for it. Great time for it.
Looked like Brennick Stumbo fell on it.
And Brennick Stumbo, the transfer from Tulsa, was able to make the recovery for Wayne.
Yeah, Stumbo's another one of those players you mentioned that he transferred from Tulsa. 101 tackles that he's put up this season. He's had 3 tonight. We'll add to that. And we got to add, he's had 13 tackles for loss this year. Falling on that football was just the kind of play that he's been making this year. Blue collar.
Keeping it on the ground across the 40 and up to the 42-yard line goes Jason Sanders. You know, I think some people might have looked at that onside kick as kind of pouring salt into the wounds. I don't see it that way. I mean, it's 35-0, but you still got a quarter and a half of football to go, and you're kicking the ball from their 45.
You're really only 2 turnovers from being back in the hunt. You think about it, if your offense gets a touchdown, Dave, your defense gives you opportunities and you get 2 more, it's 35-21.
When Newell, David Perdue deflected that ball again, and he nearly intercepted it, and you can see he's upset. He wanted to get that interception.
What kind of an athlete is David Perdue? Wow, is this guy good.
3rd down and 3, stops the clock, 7:05 to go in the 3rd. One wide out this time. Newell, pass is caught. And there is room to run. And that's Markham, the big tight end. He's inside the 20 and all the way down to the 5-yard line. And that's why you go for the onside kick.
That's exactly why. 53 yards on the pickup by Trevor Markham there, and that is just the kind of shot in the arm Wayne has needed. We talked earlier, Dave. We mentioned whether or not Tom Harmon was going to stick to the running game, and we joked about smash mouth football having no ends, pulling everybody in to make the package really compact. Well, this is what the left-hander Nico Newell can do. The big outlet pass to big number 44 there, Markham, and he's down to the 5.
Powers breaks 1 tackle, and he is into the end zone for a Wayne touchdown. And Wayne is finally on the board with 6:43 to go in the 3rd quarter.
I show Powers with 12 touchdowns on the season with that one, Dave.
So Powers with the touchdown run. It covered 6 yards. And it looks like Wayne's going to go for 2.
What choice do they have? My goodness.
Going to go for 2 here. Big catch by Markham leads to the touchdown by Powers. Newell with the pass to the end zone, incomplete. He had Markham wide open, and the 2-point try fails, and it's 35-6.
Worst thing you can do to a tight end sometimes, hit him in the hands.
Fred Simon and the Bluefield Beavers trying to win a championship tonight. Wayne's on the board, but Bluefield leads 35-6. 6:36 to go in the 3rd quarter. Wayne on the board, missed the 2-point conversion, still trail Bluefield 35-6. But first time we had an opportunity to talk about a Wayne scoring drive tonight. 4 plays, 65 yards, 48 seconds. Powers the 6-yard touchdown run. Markham with the big play.
Finally signs of life out of the Wayne T, and we're going to see an onside kick here from the Pioneers, Dave.
Oh, I love this stuff. Here we go, onside kick coming. And looks like that one didn't go 10 yards.
Oh, Wayne fans think they have it.
And Bluefield may have touched that ball. Who's got it?
That's Jake Gillum again.
Yeah, Gillum comes out with the ball.
He says he has it. Let's see what Stripes said.
That ball did not go 10 yards. Bluefield touched the ball before it went 10 yards. And they're going to give it to Wayne. Wayne has the ball. Yep.
When do you see a football game with 2 onside kicks at this point in the football game, Dave, and they both come up big for the kicking team?
Now, Blue with the touch, even though the ball didn't go 10 yards, when the Beavers touched the ball, it was on. And Gillum came up with a recovery. So Wayne trying to put a little thing together now.
I believe that's Mike Davis who touched the ball.
So this is going to cost the Pioneers 5.
Somebody jumped.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
I believe it was a receiver up on the left, Dave.
You know, Trevor Markham had a 31-yard pass reception last week in the second half that set up a touchdown against Shady Spring, and now a 52-yard gainer sets up a 6-yard touchdown run by Josh Powers. Here comes Wayne trying to get back into this game. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Newell, the lefty, on the roll. Pass is caught, and that's Powers, and he is into Bluefield territory at the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 10.
Newell can really roll well to his left here, Dave. He's a left-handed quarterback, so he throws with his body here. In talking with him, the only 3 letters that seem to come out of his mouth other than state championship talk, he wants to go to WVU. He's only a junior. You'd have to wonder if he fits a system like Rich Rodriguez's.
That's an interesting point. Newell on the play action, and it's caught, and it's Markham, and he's got it at the 35-yard line, and that is a Wayne first down. So Wayne got the wake-up call a little bit late in this game, but we'll see if it's too late.
I've seen both these schools play a number of times, Dave, and I can't say that I remember seeing Wayne out of a wing tee. Now remember, it's a variation on a run-based offense, guard-based at that. I can't remember that I've seen them throw this many times.
Newell to throw again. Too tall. Intercepted. And that is going to go all the way for Davis. 80 yards. Touchdown.
There's a flag on the play.
The leading receiver for the Bluefield Beavers is a pretty good defensive back. And he took it back for an 80-yard apparent touchdown, but there is a flag on the play. The way they're reacting, a large part of this return is going to stand, but this will not be a touchdown.
We have seen Davis with key interceptions before, Dave. Of course, he had the big one in the late going in the Weir game.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Desist half the distance to the goal on the try. The touchdown.
It is a touchdown.
How about that?
It is a touchdown. So 80 yards for Davis. So Newell with the overthrow, and Davis takes it all the way. 80 yards.
Well, we knew Davis could catch passes, and now he's taking them away.
Stone with the extra point. And it's good.
And Bluefield is just throwing dirt on Wayne's grave at this point. This looks like an insurmountable situation based on where the clock is. Newell back to pass, lets it go, and Davis just read him all the way. Watch the quarterback's eyes, I suppose. Down the sideline, and he's just too fast for anybody to get over there to stop him.
One more look. And it was all there for Davis. Didn't have to cut back to the middle of the field, just played his blocks beautifully as he worked his way down the right sideline.
Yeah, he had a receiver down his own sideline there, and the ball just looked a little underthrown.
I think we also have a replay of the personal foul against Wayne.
Looked like Newell may have taken a late hit. I'd like to see this in replay. Here's Newell. Let's see this. Oh, excuse me. How about that?
So it was a
That's
shot.
Coburn getting
that was
popped.
the quarterback getting a late shot, and that happened right in front of the official, and they flagged him for 15 yards.
What about that? No need for that stuff. That's just frustration. Well, so much talk, Dave, about the 2000 game that Wayne lost to Bridgeport. That was a close decision, and well, you can't help but think that Wayne's fans are thinking about that right about now. Twice now they've been to Wheeling Island Stadium, and unless things dramatically change here this evening, twice they're going to go away empty-handed.
Yeah, looks like it. Now, the penalty was assessed half the distance to the goal on the point after try, so this kickoff by Lucas Stone will come from the 40. High, short kick. Taken at the 25. And up to the 37-yard line. And the return by James Hill. Miscues tonight. This is a long graphic.
Oh, wow.
Fumble, bad snap on punt, bad punt, fumble, interception, interception.
That reads like the script to a horror movie, doesn't it?
You know, what's really crazy is I think if you looked at it right now that total yards for these two teams is virtually even.
Yeah, it's darn near even. I'd like to know the exact statistic.
Wayne has 111 total yards. Bluefield has 91.
So Wayne is actually outgaining them. But it's Bluefield's defense really leading the way tonight.
Up the middle to the 44-yard line. First carry of the night for Aaron Wallace, the senior.
And Dave, I made the comment earlier talking about how Wayne fans have been here and gone away empty-handed. Boy, could we say the same for Bluefield's fans. 2 years in a row they came here, and Bob Lemley and the Polka Dots turned them away both times. You have to feel really good right now for Freddie Simon's ball club.
2nd and 3.
Newell with nowhere to go. My, oh my.
Andy Bales already has one fumble return for a touchdown tonight, and he just added a sack.
Well, it looked like Wayne's line just completely broke down there. There was no protection at all for the quarterback.
I think that was Charlie Tynes in the stands there who was celebrating that
Charlie?
Sack. He knows a sack.
Bobby Pruitt could use another linebacker like him.
5 sacks tonight for the Beavers.
Big number 45, Charlie Tynes.
Ball's loose on the ground again, and the Beavers have it at the 26-yard line. Another turnover for Wayne. And can you believe this night for T.J. Morris?
Everything Bluefield touches right now is coming up gold. Wayne has turned the ball over half a dozen times. The Beavers, on the other hand, taking pretty good care of it and checking this one out. It's just a bad exchange. Number 51 there. That's Justin Brooks, one of the young men we featured at halftime, having a hard time coming up with the pitch there. One of the linemen reaching behind him trying to find it, and he only made it worse.
How about Morris? 6 turnovers tonight for Wayne. He's got 2 fumble recoveries.
How about that?
Here's the pass to Davis. Davis still on his feet, and he twists on down near the 16-yard line for a gain of 9, and now a flag comes in late. And this could be another personal foul coming.
Well, you had a good one there, the twist. Great receivers sort of have that hippity-hop side move. Yeah, just like that, the Heisman pose. The way he moves left to right so well, that really makes him a powerful weapon. Anybody can outrun you, but when you can move side to side after the catch.
How do you like that tear on the back of his jersey? You know you've been in a football game when you have one of those.
That's a badge of honor. He won't let Mom fix that one.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. The player is ejected.
So a player for the Beavers has been ejected. Was Davis ejected for that extracurricular after that catch?
I'm not positive what that was all about. Looks like Freddie Simon's bringing a couple of his guys over.
Mike Davis is still on the field.
Didn't see anything inexcusable there.
It just seemed like Davis was fighting for yards.
Unless something was said that we couldn't hear from up this high.
That's probably the player there. It could be Josh Sears. Sears, the offensive lineman. 2nd and 17 from the 33. Coburn on the pass, and that was an outstanding catch by Davis, and maybe a little too outstanding. It's going to be ruled an incomplete pass.
The Sears situation. I'm not sure what was going on with the ejection there. I'd be very interested to know what Sears said. He started this evening at tackle for Bluefield. Now he's out of the game. I'm not sure why. Be interested to hear what was said.
Well, it obviously had something to do with after the reception by Davis trying to push forward for extra yards, and something must have happened after the whistle.
Could have been something said that we can't hear.
3rd and 17. This game was 28-0 Bluefield at the half. And the Beavers have added to their lead. Coburn with the pass. Oh, what a terrific interception.
What a catch.
What a great interception by Tyler Michael. That's a big-time play. That was great body control. And Wayne's got the ball back.
Yeah, we mentioned Michael a little bit earlier. This guy is only 5'7", and I can't believe this guy weighs 130 pounds according to the roster.
Are you kidding me?
That's
What a
about
catch.
a 200-pound catch there. And there, another rip in the jersey. Again, those are badges of honor. You don't let the equipment guys fix them.
Well, that could be potentially the play of the night, the athletic play of the night. That was just a terrific interception by Tyler Michael.
I think it would be if the lead weren't so insurmountable.
Not much happening inside. Wayne on the run, maybe a gain of a half yard to the 15-yard line. And again, it's Aaron Wallace. Well, Wallace in the playoff opener against Scott had a team-high 67 yards on just 3 carries, 2 touchdowns, a 21-yarder and a 44-yarder. We didn't touch the football that much last week against Shady Spring.
Dave, Bluefield not that big a stranger to big leads. They beat Mount View 58-0. Beat Kaiser 36-7.
Newell, and he coughed up the football again, and that time Wallace was there to make the recovery. No, and Bluefield's got the ball. It looked for a moment after Newell lost it that Aaron Wallace made the recovery. Instead, Bluefield takes advantage of the 7th Wayne turnover tonight.
What about that? 7 turnovers now. You can't beat anybody when you're turning the ball over. And up till now, Bluefield has done a good job taking advantage of Wayne's mistakes.
Just been a nightmarish night for Nick Newell. Justin Followay, the sophomore, is the backup quarterback for Wayne. He played a little bit in last week's game in a mop-up role. Coburn to the end zone for Davis. He's got it. Touchdown Bluefield. A perfect timing pass to the back of the end zone.
That's the pro-style floater right there, Dave. An excellent-looking pass play by Coburn. Sees his man, times it up, puts it to where the DB can't find it. Excellent play to his right side. One more look at it. That ball flying through the night, nearly landed at Wheeling Island Casino instead. It's right there in his receiver's arms. Touchdown, and Coach Tommy Harmon, my oh my, Mama said there'd be days like those.
Stone adds the extra point. It is 49-6. That was just a perfect throw by Coburn to Davis. Coburn tonight, 5 of 10, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. And how about Davis?
3 catches, 32 yards, and a score. Jonathan Repass was on the receiving end of Coburn's other touchdown throw. Let's send it down to Drew, who's got more on the ejection of one of the Bluefield offensive linemen moments ago.
Yeah, number 62, Josh Sears, he is all done. He's been ejected from the game. He is not allowed to play for the remainder of this contest. The players have just come over to him, put their hands on his head to kind of revive him and tell him, hey, it's okay, but we got to maintain our composure. We can't have stuff like that going on. Bluefield is up 49-6. The reason why he was ejected from the game by the officials was for contact with a Wayne player after the whistle was blown. Again, number 62, Josh Sears, will no longer be able to play for the remainder of this game.
All right, Drew, thanks a lot.
All I can figure, Dave, is that might have been a forearm. Yeah, it has to be. That could be the only thing that could have gotten him tossed out.
Well, that's one of the few negatives for Bluefield tonight. I mean, what a performance, 49-6.
You hate to get tossed out. I realize they're up by 43, but you hate to get tossed out of your last game. He's a senior, and I don't think he wanted to remember his final game from the bench.
Bluefield has 49 points and only 113 total yards.
Oh, wow. That's got to be some kind of a crazy superlative.
Stone with the kickoff to the 9. Oh, here you go. Gotta love it. Who's got the ball? And it's Powers at the top of your screen. Josh Powers. Flag is down. Powers out of bounds at the Bluefield 44.
Cool return, though.
Oh, gotta love it.
Yeah. Well, at this point, if you're Wayne's kids, I suppose you just try to keep this respectable. You chip away. You try to even it up as much as you can. But Bluefield is absolutely dominant.
Holding on the kickoff, so they'll bring this one back. But you got to love this formation. Check this out.
Takes away a 40-yard return, 48-yard return, I beg your pardon. Cool little play as all the special teams guys come together for a little powwow at midfield. Their business meeting adjourns, and Mr. Powers, a nice return. Too bad the flag will take it away.
Yeah, the 3 of them came together. Michael and Powers.
And again, Dave,
and Gillum.
Here's Wayne with bad field position.
In the high school football version of Find the Queen.
Oh.
Coburn with a big hit, and a flag comes down as Powers is dropped at the 10-yard line.
Dave, I know we've talked an awful lot about Wayne's mistakes, but you got to give Bluefield a serious tip of the cap. They have been so opportunistic. They have taken advantage of every time they've had a chance to score, and that's what being a champion is all about. When you get a chance, take it.
We found a little bit more footage on the ejection. We'll take a look at that once we get this latest flag situation straightened out.
Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty. The player is ejected.
Another player is ejected for Bluefield.
That is Travis Steptoe, a junior lineman. What's going on in the trenches?
So Steptoe has been ejected, the second Beaver player to be kicked out of the game. I think we have time to go back and take a look at some of the footage now of the first ejection.
You'll want to
watch the lower left-hand portion of the screen.
Look about 7 o'clock on your screen.
Okay, there's a punch. 2 punches with a right hand.
Like a little rib punch there. That's exactly what it was. It's a forearm.
Coming back to the live action, Wayne on the carry. Trying to move the football. Gary Rowland going off the left side. Derek Steptoe made the stop.
Oh, Rowland really hasn't had a chance to show what he's about, Dave. Earlier in the season, he broke a 55-yard drive down the field. Pretty nice offensive player there, but Wayne's offense has just been muted this evening.
Yeah, and 121 yards in their quarterfinal win against Braxton County. Wayne dominated that game, 47-21. Gain of a yard, 2nd down and 9. Powers spins his way up beyond the 30-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down. And now let's take a look at some of the footage on the second ejection. Travis Steptoe, 66 in blue. Kind of difficult to see.
Top of the pile there, yeah. Hard to look at.
3rd down and 4. Powers in motion. He's got the football. Shoots through a hole and into the secondary. And now it's a race to the other end of the field. They've got the angle on Powers, and he is knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line at the 16 of Bluefield. $53 yards for Powers.
This is what the wing tee is all about, Dave. When we see this replay, you'll see that Powers comes from the weak side. You see him cut across the back there. The idea is to use a lot of deceptive moves behind the line of scrimmage, and that's what Wayne has used to a successful point this season. He's brought down, but a great gainer there for Powers.
Josh Powers, 7 carries for 130 yards. He's got more total yards than Bluefield.
How about that average run? 18. Yeah, he's had 2 runs of over 50 yards. One at 51, another at 53.
Daniel Runyon on the carry. Runyon had 8 touchdowns this year, had 2 of them in the playoff win over Braxton. Counting down to 90 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. You know, with all the penalties, I know it bogs the game down, but Wayne was kind of taken out of this game early. Things were getting a little bit out of control down on the field. The officiating crew tonight, I think, has done a good job to try to keep control of this game.
Oh, they have. Of course, Charles Clements, of course, our head referee in this system, and in this crew, I should say. And yeah, you're right. They've done a good job, because if you leave situations untended, it could turn into an ugly situation, as we've seen in too many sporting events lately.
Boy, Newell was able to thread the needle that time to Powers. David Perdue was all over Powers. I don't know how he got that pass in there, but he did. It's 3rd down and 6. Wayne needs to reach the Bluefield 6 for the 1st down. Play action. Newell throws as he's brought down. It's to Markham, and he's into the end zone for a Wayne touchdown, covering 12 yards.
Markham has both of Wayne's touchdowns. Oh, excuse me, just one of them. Josh Powers had the other. Beg your pardon.
12-yard touchdown reception by Trevor Markham.
Well, Newell is almost brought down here. You see the Bluefield defender coming strong. Still, Newell is rangy enough, tough enough to let the ball go in time for the touchdown.
For Newell, his 17th touchdown pass of the year. Going to go for 2. It's Powers, and he pinballs his way near the goal line, but did not reach the goal line. An unsuccessful 2-point attempt. 49-12. And Daniel Wells, who's had a big role in tonight's game for Bluefield, was right there to stop Powers before he got into the end zone.
Dave, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember this many points in a championship game since the Nitro Morgantown matchup from back in '99 in AAA.
You're going to make me get to my notes, aren't you?
Going to make you dig out the guy, baby.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, it was an amazing night. J.R. House had 10 touchdown passes.
Nearly 600 yards passing.
Nitro had 41 points on the board in the first half.
Oh, it was nuts. That was such a great afternoon on this field. Of course, if you're a Nitro fan, if you're a Morgantown fan, probably not such a good day. Morgantown, now they're going to go for their own tomorrow. This is only the table setter for this weekend.
That's exactly right. This is just the table setter.
AAA game tomorrow at noon, Martinsburg and Morgantown. And of course, tomorrow night in Single A, the Northern Panhandle delight, if you will, as neighbors go to bat. Weirton Madonna with only 27 players in uniform. They will face Wheeling Central.
7 plays, 93 yards in 3 minutes. Markham, a 12-yard touchdown reception. And Powers had a big 51-yard run to help set it up You made me get out my stuff.
I made you put the glasses on.
Made me get out my stuff. 1998, Nitro 69, Morgantown 52. J.R. House 10 touchdown passes, 594 yards passing. Chris Martin that night played for Marshall.
Sure.
15 catches, 342 yards, and 4 TDs.
Been a lot of yards in this game, at least for Wayne, Dave, and it's hard to believe that they have this many yards, and the Pioneers are down 35. 37.
Onside kick. Wayne's got it. Or do they? Yes.
Well, Wayne's making this interesting. Pretty cool little fake there. Looked like he was going to reach for the ball almost before he just sort of shoves it down the field. Good execution of the onside pattern.
And Daniel Wells is thinking, how did I lose that ball? He seemed like he had it, but somehow it got away.
It's a hot potato.
And Wayne's got the football. They'll start this drive at their own 49, trailing 49-12. And Bluefield wants to circle the wagons a little bit here, and they've called a timeout. The first of 3. Sean, you know this. Now this should keep us busy for a while. We're going to take a look at some of the Wayne turnovers tonight.
Well, Nico Newell and the Wayne offense have just had no luck at all. There you see he just loses one out of his left hand. That one pretty rough as well. This is what Tommy Harmon probably feared most in bringing his ball club into this AA championship game against a ball club like Bluefield that plays such excellent defense. In 2 of their playoff wins, Dave, they've held their opponents to either 7 or 0 points. Tonight, it's 12 thus far for the Wayne Pioneers. Freddie Simon, though, in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good.
Sure.
With a 49-12 lead.
That is the biggest stat of the game right there. Points off turnovers. 42 points off turnovers. I've never heard of a stat that big.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and 3 of those touchdowns came off defense. Came from Bluefield's D. Wow.
Newell gonna crank it up. Got a man wide open. And to the end zone for a 51-yard touchdown goes Tyler Michael.
Wow. Well, we're finally getting to see what Nico Newell can do now that he has a little bit of time to drop back and throw that pass. It seems like Wayne's offensive line has found a little bit of confidence and has found some chutzpah, if you will.
Wayne has put up 2 touchdowns in 25 seconds.
But is there enough gas left in the tank?
Well, we've certainly seen some interesting formations from Wayne tonight, and after this 2-point attempt, I'm sure we're going to see another onside kick attempt.
Yeah, probably so.
Power eye this time. Not going to happen.
Wayne has gone for 2 3 times and made it yet.
Tracy Coppolo made the stop. Here's another look at the touchdown.
Plenty of tape to share on the left-hander here. He almost looks like John Elway letting that one fly out of his left hand. Markham fending off a tackler there. Rolls into the end zone at nearly the conclusion of the 3rd quarter, Dave.
Yeah, not too many players in this state going to be able to run away from Mike Davis, and that's what Michael does here.
Yeah, anytime you can outspeed a guy like Davis, just manage to elude him.
Well, think about that acrobatic interception that Michael had earlier in the 3rd quarter, and now he makes a big play on the receiving end of this 51-yard score. Big play guy.
Well, now get ready for this onside kick, too, because Wayne, as we mentioned earlier, they've had excellent execution of the onside pattern. Hey, they've run it twice, and it's worked. Why wouldn't you go for it again?
49-18. It's a high school championship game that's now closing in on 2.5 hours, and we still have the 4th quarter to go.
My goodness. It was that halftime show with Up for People that you wanted, Dave. Come on.
They probably haven't given enough love to Travis Thompson, who's really been doing a great job on these kickoffs and these onside kick attempts. No, wait a minute. This is Powers.
Let's see if third time's the charm.
Here's Powers. Oh, he's going the other way. Oops.
Did not go 10 yards. That didn't go 3 yards.
You got to love that. Everybody was lined up to the right side, and you thought, I'm going to go to the
laundry
left.
on the lawn as well. Well, this one, yeah, there's no kick on this one. Powers obviously going to try something unique here. That's a soccer play. Or a dance step, one or the other.
That's great.
Oh, well.
That's the stuff you
had to try.
Had to try it.
Yeah.
You had to spend time in practice working on that stuff. But, you know, that's just a procedure. And they're going to move that ball back to the 35-yard line. And here comes another onside kick.
Dave, in the entertainment world, I believe they call that improvisation.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
So here goes Powers again, and you can see all the players short. Ball is
Bluefield may have
loose.
touched it.
And I think Bluefield may have touched that
I think
ball.
Wayne may have it.
If Bluefield touched that ball, it's a free ball.
Yep. It hit a Bluefield player's knee right there. Yep. Certainly did. Taking a look at the replay.
Here we go.
There you go. No, and Bluefield's going to get the ball after all, Dave.
The ball did touch a Bluefield player, but apparently in the eyes of the officials, they did not see that. And the ball will belong to the Beavers. You know, can we see that one more time?
I'd like to see it again.
Here it is. Was that ball touched?
No, I don't think it touched.
I don't know. I don't know. Look at the rotation of the ball. That ball may have gone off his foot. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, if anything,
I'll tell you what, I think the officials got that one right.
If anything, I think it touched one of the Wayne kids afterwards.
And you know what? That flag is down, which gives us a chance to talk about this a little more. We can sit up here in our nice, warm, toasty booth.
It's not that warm.
And look at these plays over and over and from different angles. Down there in the field, they only get one shot at it, and it looks like they got it right.
That's why guys like us are confined to the press box.
In the back above the waist on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
And hard-working people like Charles Clemens are given whistles because they know what they're doing. Lengthy ball game.
You know, this last minute of this third quarter, I think has been about as long as the last minute of the second quarter of this game. Incredible length closing out these quarters. 4 wide for Bluefield. Trips to the right. And they're going to let time expire in the third quarter.
As well.
So mercifully, the third quarter has finally ended. And now we are set to move to the fourth. Rusty Coburn gives the signal that the fourth quarter belongs to the Beavers. And why not? They're 12 minutes away from a state championship and an undefeated season. Bluefield 49, Wayne 18. Ready to start the fourth quarter of the West Virginia Class AA championship game. Bluefield 49, Wayne 18. First down and 23 for the Beavers as Bluefield is at their own 46-yard line as we begin the fourth and final period tonight. Here's Derek Steptoe. Great move by Steptoe as he gets down to the 42-yard line. Gain of 12. And for Lucas Stone, obviously playing in a championship game is important, but Drew Powell tells us tonight that he had other big plans this weekend as well, right, Drew?
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Actually, he was invited to the Harvard-Yale football game a couple of weeks ago, but he was unable to make that game. He had to decline the invite because of a playoff obligation with the Bluefield Beavers as they played Kaiser. So he was unable to go to the Harvard-Yale game. He's extremely intelligent. Guys, he scored a 1,500 on his last SAT and ACT exam.
All right, Drew, thanks a lot. Yeah, Lucas Stone gets it done with his foot and with his brain.
And Steptoe getting it done with his hands and feet there. Yeah. That was nice.
Quentin Steptoe, who was rocked pretty well in the first half, has come back here in the second half and contributed to Bluefield's effort.
Yeah, he was down on the field, Dave, and again, Drew reported about his injury a little earlier. Briefly, a scary situation. Glad to see he's well.
Inside. And this is Derek Steptoe inside the 10, down to the 5, to the goal line. Touchdown, Bluefield. He had broken the plane before the ball came out. That's going to be ruled a 27-yard touchdown run for Derek Steptoe.
That drive was all Steptoe.
And for the high-stepping Steptoe, that's his second touchdown run of the night.
And Bluefield just continues to build the mountain. They have been dominant tonight. Steptoe breaking one arm tackle. There's another one. And then he just outlegs the defense all the way to the pylon. Steptoe's second score on the evening, and Bluefield leads this 55-18. My, oh my.
55 points in a state championship game. The aforementioned Stone on to add the extra point. And it's good. 56-18. Bluefield leading Wayne early in the fourth quarter of the West Virginia Class AA Championship game. Strike up the band for the Beavers. We're back to Wheeling Island in just a moment. 10:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Bluefield 56, Wayne 18. In this meeting of two undefeated teams for the West Virginia Class AA title. Stone gets the good foot into that one and sends it down, and here we go again. Man, I love this stuff.
That's cool.
Bluefield has got Michael in a bad way back at the 13-yard line. And if you're wondering about the scoring records that Bluefield may be getting close to, the record for the most points scored in a AA championship game was by Wyoming East back in 1999. 57 points against, you guessed it, Bluefield.
No. And if you're in Winfield, if you're in Putnam County, or if you're in Tucker County, perhaps you remember 1988 when Winfield, the Generals, outlegged Tucker County 48-7. But that one isn't even close to the record, and we could see more from Bluefield.
Newell with a pass, and that one's going to sail out of bounds. Josh Powers was the intended receiver. Davis had the coverage for the Beavers.
Yep, some crazy numbers here. Misleading for sure.
That makes my brain hurt. Look at that.
That's like long division. My goodness.
Wayne with the big edge in time of possession.
And they have more yards. They've run more plays. And they have a third of the points.
56-18. Well, obviously, throwing the football up and down the field is not Wayne's game, but they've been sort of forced into this situation. Newell sacked again. And it's Daniel Wells, and he's having a night. 3 sacks for Wells tonight.
Did anybody get in his way?
And it was Wells who caused the first fumble back in the opening quarter that Andy Bales returned 63 yards for a touchdown.
Wells is a big guy. He's listed at 221 at only 6'1", and it looked like he came right around the edge there and introduced himself to the ball carrier. Big night for the big guy.
Yeah, 6'1", 221, and man, he's thinking 3 sacks tonight. Why does my career have to end here? I'm just getting started.
And thus far, Nico Newell has tasted turf 7 times.
7 sacks tonight. Gonna run it. It's Wallace, and Wallace hit a blue wall led by Rusty Coburn at the 13-yard line.
Wheeling Island Stadium is more like a lumber yard. They keep bringing the wood.
That was a big hit by the quarterback. Keep your eye on number 7 in blue on this replay.
Don't need to look at anybody else. Here comes 7.
Ooh.
Oh, and that's a stick. Oh. Oh, don't mean to laugh at the Wayne kids at their expense, but my golly, what a hit.
Low snap. Got it away. The punts obviously have been an adventure. Here's Davis, who caught that low ball on the run and is driven out of bounds at the Wayne 20.
And look at the field position Bluefield gets again.
Well, here you go. Here's your chance to set the record for the most points in a AA championship game by Bluefield right here. Rusty Coburn's done it all offensively and defensively tonight for the Bluefield Beavers. Let's check out big number 7.
He has done a little bit of everything with nice touchdown passes. Davis has caught one. Amazing play there. Yeah, he can really run away from a lot of people too. He's hard to bring down because he's a big athletic guy. There he completes a really nice pass over to Steptoe. He has done a little bit of everything. Bluefield in good shape right now, Dave.
6 of 11, 83 yards, 2 TDs. And it looks like there's going to be interference called as Davis got caught up with Stumbo. And Coburn's just having a night. Look at that, 7 tackles, broke up a pass. No word on whether he drove the bus up here today.
I was about to say, you know, it makes a long bus ride, which both of these schools have had to get here, but Bluefield's probably that much longer than Wayne's. To come this far and taste victory in such an extreme way has got to be satisfying.
Interference was the call against Wayne. It's 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Getting wide. Purdue to the 8. And guess what? Another flag.
Justin Fallaway, I show with that stop.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
So holding against Bluefield will move this ball back outside the 10-yard line. This drive started with the nose of the football outside the 10. Wayne 71 yards in penalties. Bluefield a half a dozen penalties for 70 yards tonight. Bluefield can get a first down inside the 1-yard line.
Penalties just another way that Wayne has hurt itself tonight, Dave, allowing its quarterback to be sacked 7 times. So many penalties, so many turnovers, so many ugly plays.
2 wide receivers to the left to the end zone. Oh, what a great grab.
Oh. I don't see a flag.
I think did they rule that pass incomplete? Incomplete pass was the ruling.
Looked to me like he had it.
Davis was tied up with Brad Abbott in the left corner of the end zone.
And the pass was incomplete. Just couldn't see it from where I was standing.
Here's another look. Yeah, that ball's out.
Yeah. It almost looked like the defender's foot came up and caused that turnover.
Tyler Michaels back there. Michaels had a big impact, obviously, for Wayne since transferring in from Spring Valley. 2nd down and 20. And Wayne defenses that play extremely well. Trevor Markham led the charge.
Markham's played a super game.
First carry of the night for Tony Bland, a 5'9", 183-pound senior.
The play of Markham and Powers and Newell, really some of the bright lights left in this dark forest for Wayne fans, but it's just becoming entirely too big a mountain to climb with only 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, a little over 8 minutes to go. Bluefield with a heavy lead. You know, 2 early big plays and miscues by Wayne really set in motion this route tonight.
And again, I mentioned earlier, the whole thing started with a 51-yard run for Powers. It looked like it was going to be Wayne's night.
Pass is caught, and again the reception by Tony Bland. Bland made a nice catch. Coburn threw that ball to his right and put it in a spot where only he could catch it. And this is 4th down and 14.
Dave, if you think about it, 56-18 is an extreme score. There's no doubt about that. But when a ball club like Bluefield is able to knock off a highly ranked team in AAA the way they did Martinsburg earlier in the season, it tells you what kind of fire these kids play with for Fred Simon.
30-yard field goal attempt by Lucas Stone. On the way. And good. So Bluefield now has the record for the most points ever scored by a team winning a West Virginia Class AA championship. 59-18. We're back to Wheeling in just a moment. 7:11 remaining in the fourth quarter. Bluefield 59, Wayne 18. Lucas Stone, a 30-yard field goal for the Beavers' latest score. Stone, look at that kick. All the way back to the 1-yard line. And we're going to try reverse. It's Michael, and he breaks through the first wave. Oh, and he's tripped up before he could really get rolling at the 26-yard line.
He was one block away from something really good there.
Boy, Lucas Stone with that field goal. And, of course, this has been a great playoff run for Stone. There's the record. Bluefield breaks the record for scoring in a West Virginia Class AA championship game. Wyoming East scored 57 points on Bluefield back in '99, and now the Beavers hold that record.
Just one other notch to put in their belt at this point, Dave. The Bluefield Beavers, a team of destiny coming into this game unbeaten, 13-0 for Coach Freddie Simon, and they appear to be on their way, exactly as Drew Powell said in our open, a team of destiny.
A timeout on the play by Bluefield. So Bluefield has one timeout remaining. Boy, Rusty Coburn's had a great night. I wanted to get this in about Lucas Stone. I mean, he kicked a 30-yard field goal a moment ago. He set a AA playoff record with 3 field goals in a game against Kaiser in the quarterfinal. Coburn's numbers tonight: 90 yards passing, 2 touchdowns.
Apparently he's coming out and he gets the glad hand from the fans here on the home sideline of Wheeling Island Stadium, and he deserves it. Look at the fire rolling off his head. That's the way his team has played tonight. They have played with fury.
They certainly have. Newell staying in at quarterback for Wayne. He'll be back next season, just a junior. Play action. They got a guy wide open, and this is going to go for a Wayne touchdown.
73 yards.
Gillum on the receiving end of a 73-yard touchdown. These guys are going to make me get into my bag of records for most points combined in a game. 6:49 remaining in the game, and Wayne with a 73-yard TD.
And Dave, I'll give you a stat: 28-0 at the half. Had Wayne's defense preserved that cushion, where would they be right now? 28-24.
It's official. I've run out of spots on my scoring sheet.
Notify the paper plant. We're killing trees.
Going for 2. Why not?
Oh boy.
Newell
on his own.
Looks like he's going to get in there. Yeah, it's a meeting at the goal line. No.
Wow.
He's going to be rolled down before the goal line.
See where his knee hit. Yeah, I think his knee hit a little early there. One of his knees may have gone down.
Well, it looked like he had a great shot when he got the corner turned, but his knee touched before he broke the plane of the end zone. 2-point try, no good.
Well, and that play just shows he's a blood and guts quarterback.
59-20.
Yep, we'll take a look at that. Botkins, number 52, coming right in. Botkins got the start this evening at nose tackle. Excuse me, at tackle. And that's exactly what he did right there.
Gonna go 4 wide here. And a handoff inside to Derek Steptoe. And his forward progress is stopped as he reaches the 36-yard line. Okay, Sean, let me ask you this. Riddle me this, Batman.
Yes. Tape Crusader.
If Bluefield goes on and wins this game, and it looks like, barring a total collapse, they will in amazingly impressive fashion, and tomorrow Martinsburg finds a way to upset Morgantown in the AAA championship game, since Bluefield beat Martinsburg, can they make the claim that they are the best high school football team in West Virginia?
I quote, and you're going to laugh at me when I quote a wrestler, But Ric Flair once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I suppose they beat the man. If Martinsburg wins AAA and Bluefield wins their championship, well, Bluefield knocked off Martinsburg. So, yeah, they could stake a claim to that.
Actually, I think if Bluefield scores another touchdown with their strength of schedule, they could qualify for the BCS.
Why not? Utah got in, or at least they will.
Wayne, and if you're wondering why we're talking, Wayne has called a timeout. And it's 3rd down and 19 for Bluefield at the Wayne 36. This one kind of fell apart very quickly for Wayne.
All because of mistakes.
Andy Bales had a 63-yard fumble return to put Bluefield up early in the game. A botched punt snap. Daniel Runyon fell on it at the Wayne 1-yard line, and David Perdue scored one play later on a 1-yard touchdown run, made it 13-0. And since then, it's really not been that competitive.
Catch.
Davis again. That's a super grab at the 25-yard line. Not a first down. And Wayne has called another timeout. And Stone is on. Now this is going to be 4th down and 7. Makes you wonder if Stone will attempt a field goal here.
A pretty good poke. That would be.
Sean, explain this.
38 yards.
Really, explain this to me. You've got a 59-24 lead with 7 minutes to go in the ball. Why are you throwing every down?
I'm not sure. That's sort of the point I was making earlier. I'm not sure why at this point you wouldn't just run it out. Again, I'm not pointing any fingers, but my goodness, doesn't there come a point where you just say, okay, call off the dogs, boys, enough is enough?
I think we've got a pretty good grasp on things in terms of records. So I can't imagine that there's some record that Bluefield is going for here in the later stages that's forcing them to play the way they're playing.
Perhaps the 60-point mark is enough. Get your field goal, and that's plenty.
Well, they are not sending Stone out. They will go for it on 4th and 7. Oh, yes, they are. He's on. So here you go. Stone is on.
To try it from 42.
Officially, this will be a 41-yard field goal. This will be his career long if he makes it. On the way. Oh, he's got it all the way.
Wow.
Stone now with 2 field goals in this game. 62-24. So Stone tonight with a 41-yarder and a 30-yarder in this game. 62-24.
It has been a night of dreams if you're a Bluefield fan. Wow. Everything Freddie Simon has wished for has been his for the asking tonight. Points, turnovers, miscues on behalf of the opponent, you name it, Bluefield has gotten it, and now they're going to get their first championship since 1997, Dave.
Stone was knocking him through from 50 yards out in the pregame. And he's had some really long kickoffs. He's got a good leg. You know what's really funny is at Mitchell Stadium, they had to put nets up behind the goalposts because he was literally kicking it out of the stadium. And at one end of Mitchell Stadium, when he was kicking, he was knocking balls into the concession stand line.
Wow. Touch of Sebastian Janikowski there. How about that? Let her fly.
Oh, you know what? That gentleman that we just saw.
That's Coppola.
Yeah, that's Coppola.
Yeah, that's his dad.
Well, he's having a big night. State championship game. Got his son's name pronounced right.
How about that?
On statewide TV.
Yep.
All right, 62-24. 5:15 remaining in the game.
We got to stress this too, Dave, because of different air times on different TV stations. For tomorrow's ball games, you will want to check your local listings for the AAA and the single A games.
Kick to the 7, and here we go. And that's Michael, and he's tripped up. Outstanding play defensively by Jake Sears.
Well,
Sears brothers. Josh has been ejected from the game. Jake just made a big play on special teams.
if you're a Bluefield fan, if you're on Fred Simon's bench right now, Dave, you've got to be thinking back to 2 years running. 2 years so close. Last year especially with the missed field goal in overtime on the bad snap. So many times they've come close, and now Freddie Simon is going to break through and break this streak of getting to Wheeling and finding nothing for it.
Setting up the screen. Incomplete, intended for Powers. Tried to pick that one up off the turf. You know, this Wayne Pioneer football team has 4 members of the squad who are on the school paper.
Josh Powers, one of them.
He's the sports editor.
Exactly.
Of the Pioneer.
He actually has a column called, appropriately, the Powerhouse.
But Park Ferguson and Justin Followay and Kyle Mills and Josh Power all write for the high school paper, the Pioneer, and they had to put out a special playoff edition, 19 pages long.
Sweet.
2 weeks ago.
Oh boy.
Bad snap. Ball's loose. Oh my goodness. Could this be turnover number 8? Yes, it is.
And it gets worse for Wayne and better for Bluefield.
Alan Carter made the recovery.
Oh, we're gaining on 10 turnovers. What's the over-under, Dave?
Oh, we're there. 8 turnovers tonight.
11 total turnovers. I guess I was shorting it a little bit. You're right. Well, this snap just never gets to the quarterback, and from there, Nico Newell just powerless to pass.
You know, in Wayne's defense, in their offense, they really don't run from the shotgun that often.
Not at all.
But tonight, it really showed.
Yeah, it really showed that they were just ill-prepared for that, because so many of the snaps from their center, John Dunkel started tonight at center, and so many of the snaps just have not worked for their passing attack. They just haven't been received well.
And it looks like Coburn's coming out of the game. Average field position tonight. That is unbelievable. Average field position tonight for Bluefield was the Wayne 32.
When your average field position is on the other guy's side of the field, well, that says it all. You've had a good night on offense.
Well, Bluefield's had an unbelievable season. Going to have an undefeated record this year. They were 5-0 this year against AAA teams. Wow. All right, got a new quarterback in the game. Into the game at quarterback for Bluefield.
McClanahan.
It's repass.
Repass.
Repass going to take some snaps here. Going to run the football. And Tony Bland on the carry.
Well, he can catch. Now we'll see if Repas can throw.
Yeah, he's had quite a game. And many of the first teamers for Wayne's defense still in there. Trevor Markham helped out on the tackle there. Clock running, 4.5 minutes. Repassed with a few attempts. Going to run the option. Trying to get wide. Down near the 13-yard line goes Bland again. And maybe, just maybe, Bluefield's called off the dogs.
Where to begin praising the efforts and the success of Bluefield tonight, Dave? As I keep saying, I sound a little repetitive perhaps, but they've taken advantage of every mistake that Wayne has found. If it's a bad snap, Bluefield has been there. If it's been a kick that sailed out of bounds, Bluefield benefited from it. And the passing game with Coburn leading the way, he's just been sensational.
Third down and 10. Wow, Bluefield's got 62 points, and they're 1 for 9 on third down tonight.
Well, they haven't made it to third down very often.
That's the point as well. Well, you know, it is just amazing when you look at it. 1 for 9 on third down for Bluefield tonight. They've got 62 points and only 209 total yards.
When you don't have to make it that far, when you're getting it done on first and second, and time of possession is pretty key. Wayne is probably way up in that department. Almost 25 minutes on Wayne's side of the time of possession clock.
Well, you might as well take all the time you want to make this call.
Sure. I got nowhere else to be.
False start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Back at the 18-yard line now. 3rd down and 15. Bluefield needs the Wayne 3 for a 1st down. Coburn apparently done for the night. Jonathan Repass in there taking snaps now for Bluefield. And Repass going to put it up. Going to send this to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Jerome Powell. That's an 18-yard score.
Bluefield is going to have 70 on the board if they go for 2.
Repass with the 18-yard touchdown pass to Jerome Powell.
Dave, assuming Bluefield gets 1 out of this, assuming they make the kick, that Stone's kick goes through the uprights, they'll tie that record set by J.R. House and Nitro back in 1999.
Stone.
There you go.
Up and good at 69 points. 69-24. Well, Repass had his choice of wide open receivers to throw to
He
that
had
time.
plenty of guys to throw to, yeah. At some point, the air just goes out of the bag for a team when they're down by 30 or more. Repass, again, I don't even have him listed as a quarterback, but he's in, and lo and behold, he can do it. He's a 2nd stringer. Okay. I stand corrected.
That was a good-looking pass.
I had Eric McClanahan as the backup, but lo and behold, Repass, rolling back, looking long enough. Right between 2 Wayne defenders. One of them delivered the late hit.
.3:15 remaining in the game. In a game that now appears as if it started back in 1997. 28-0 for Bluefield at the break. And they have added to their lead here in the 2nd half.
41 points.
They've tied the record. You know, when you start talking about high school football, 4 12-minute quarters, 69 points. That's amazing.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's scoring on virtually every opportunity you get. And when Wayne's offense has performed as poorly as it has, you get a lot of opportunities.
Bluefield with 20 up on the board here in the 4th. 2 Lucas Stone field goals and 2 touchdowns.
Well, and check out that 3rd quarter number, Dave, with Wayne putting up 18 points. They didn't fold the tent right away.
And, you know, you've got a couple of missed extra point attempts in this pile of scores for Bluefield. So, you know, conceivably, they could have been over 70 points tonight. Wallace, and he's bumped out at the 15-yard line. Well, we have seen a lot of entertaining plays by Wayne tonight.
Yeah, we have, especially on special teams where the guys, the receivers for the kick, the returners all come together and they mingle for a bit and then they go their separate ways. You never know who has the football, who to tackle. But as of right now, 3 minutes and 8 seconds until Bluefield can celebrate its championship. And good for them. Up by 45 with 3:08 left.
Sewell in there again. The backup is Justin Followay, but Sewell will apparently finish this one out tonight for Wayne. Trying to get something going with Jason Sanders, and now Wayne appears more than happy to let the remaining time click away. But you never know. Wayne's had 8 turnovers tonight.
I was in the Wayne locker room right before kickoff, maybe an hour before kickoff, Dave, and it was unusually quiet in there. Go in high school locker rooms before games, and you don't often hear what felt like an eerie silence, almost a foreboding feeling.
Well, the first team offense for Wayne comes out of the game, and now they'll go to the second unit. Gave the fans a chance to honor some of those Wayne offensive seniors. On the carry for Wayne goes Travis Thompson. And Justin Followay, we had wondered if he would get into the game, has entered.
Bluefield's locker room, on the other hand, Dave, we went over to visit with Fred Simon before the game. Things were fairly loose in there. You got an air of confidence when you walked into that place.
And as if to sense the moment, Bluefield just took their first team offense out. And their second team defense comes into the game.
Well, that is a hat. You need a hat, Dave.
Wow.
He can wear that one with pride tonight. I wouldn't take it off.
Well, let me just say, you can sport that when you're winning.
You wear that hat, you get a free bowl of soup.
Yeah.
But it looks good on you.
I guess they couldn't guess his weight. Timeout. Timeout, Wayne. Makes you wonder, we could be maybe closing in on the longest high school football championship game in West Virginia history.
It could be.
It's a game that started at 7:30 Eastern, and it is now 20 till 11.
Wow. There are plenty of NFL games on Sunday that don't go 3.5 hours.
You know, I've been to some West Virginia high school championship games where you could almost virtually stay double parked.
Yeah.
But this wasn't one of them. And for Wayne, this was long and excruciatingly painful.
Well, I'll hand this to the Wayne fans. I think they're showing a lot of character by not leaving the stadium.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
often when you see your team down, you want to hit the road and beat some of this traffic. Hey, fans on both sides of this game, one set sticking around to honor their champions, the other proud of their team's effort, and they should be, because even with this loss, Wayne's 13-1. That's excellent.
There's Followay on the carry. And there's a chance for the reserves of the Bluefield defense to get in a hit. Mike Rose made the stop for the Beavers. Well, Wayne will be back. Definitely not a one-hit wonder. Tommy Harmon's got a program going at Wayne. It's not a situation where there were a group of superstars on this team and this was the culmination of the pinnacle of their program. They'll get back to Wayne. They'll circle the wagons. They'll regroup, and they'll go at it again next year.
You pointed out, Dave, earlier in the game, Tom Harmon took over the program in 1997 and proceeded to win 0 that year. Nothing in 10 in 1997. However, over the past 5 seasons, 53-10, counting this loss. That is pretty sensational and a great turnaround. Before Tom Harmon arrived at Wayne County, or Wayne High School, I should say, there was no football. It was a baseball school, and it still is to some degree, but it's definitely a football community.
52 seconds remaining.
Wayne has 4 baseball championships, I believe.
Oh.
I believe it's 4. Bluefield, I'm counting them up, Dave, they had 6 championships in Class AAA between the years of 1959 and 1984. Only 1 title in AA since 1995, that coming back in 1997.
I guess the real question now is, well, where's the Gatorade bucket?
Yeah, Freddie Simon's got to get the bucket. One of those moments where you hearken back to Harry Carson, some of the New York Giants players sneaking around in security jackets. I think something's coming. Looked like Coburn and some of the other. Well, there we go.
There's the bucket. We have found the bucket.
It looks like it's still got some liquid in it. No, Fred says no bucket for me. Don't do it. It's a long ride home.
Look at that. Now that's the kind of stuff you can do when you're up 69-24. You can.
Coach Simon says, which one of you guys wants to be tied to the hood for the ride home?
No bucket. Oh my goodness.
Maybe more.
Oh, a touchdown saving tackle. Deke Kersey nearly took that one to the house.
I don't know how you feel, but I am exhausted after this game.
I feel like a fighter.
I am spent. We've gone 15. No mas.
Clock is running. Final half minute. and that might just do it.
Well, and you've got to feel good for Fred Simon, one of the friendlier personalities that you'll meet in AA football these days, Dave. Got to feel good for his program. Congratulations to the Beavers as time ticks away and the coronation begins.
So the Bluefield Beavers complete a perfect 14-0 season that culminates with a West Virginia Class AA championship. Fred Simon and the Beavers win over Wayne tonight, the final 69-24 in a dominant performance, and perseverance a big key for Bluefield in light of the way they lost last year's overtime heartbreaker to Polka.
Well,
Sean, any final thoughts?
Bluefield looking sensational tonight. Wayne made a lot of mistakes tonight, especially on offense, but they have nothing to feel that badly about with a 13-1 record.
Enjoyed it, partner. For Sean McDowell and Drew Powell, this is Dave Weekley saying so long from Wheeling Island Stadium. The Super 6 is an exclusive presentation of West Virginia Media. All rights reserved.